Hello, and welcome back, all you wonderful 2B Dicers. I'm your host, Daddy Tarzan, and with me today is the wonderful cast and crew of 2B Dice Adventures. That being said, let's go ahead and get a quick little introduction of the cast and crew before we get into the thick of things. Starting off with tonight's cast is Ego, being played by Ren. Go ahead and introduce yourself, Ren.
Hi, I'm Ren. Pronounce them. I play Ego, who is a Twi'lek, scoundrel, a wonderful force. I can't remember words today. Has the force. Can't really use it. Never done a thing wrong in his life.
Awesome. Up next is our resident pilot, Chav Visto.
You're gosh darn right. Hi, Matt, known as War Torn Knight out there on the interwebs. And I have the wonderful pleasure of playing the somehow, against all odds, still alive and breathing Chav, also known as Agent Lancer Visto, pilot of both the Nothwin Lancer, the Nothwin Chimera, and what did we call the cloud car? The Chimera Sub 2 as well. Cloud car racing champion in the land of Bespin, and the best pilot in the galaxy. And there's nobody here to argue that, so it's true. Thank you very much for your time.
Hello, everybody. My name is Victor. I'm Victor, the Story Weaver. I'll be playing Oho, the assassin, one of the brothers who started this entire journey and has now reunited with the party. And sometimes I also play Guy, who is the actual best pilot in the galaxy, but he's actually taking a bit of a step back because we have a Make-A-Wish Foundation kid named Chav Visto, who wants to make sure that he can say he is the best pilot. So Guy is just basically granting a wish during this time, and that's just part of highlighting how humble he is in his greatness.
Oh my god. I'm going to go ahead and apologize in advance if you guys see me wincing throughout tonight's episode. I am in a bit of pain, but this game is worth it, so I'm gonna suffer through it. We will be joined later on, possibly, by Dia, who plays Dove, our resident bipedal tank, literally. And then Oz will unfortunately not be joining us today, who is the cast member that plays Rawl. So I will be filling in not only for the shoes of the NPCs that these wonderful cast members will interact with, I'll be filling in the shoes of Rawl tonight as well, and hopefully steer them in the right direction that Oz intends. That being said, let's go ahead and roll out tonight's itinerary, or not tonight, but this week's itinerary, I should say. We got a treat for you all, 2B Dicers. We do have another slot for Tales of Varden coming up this Thursday to reposition us to cycle with one of our cast members for Tales of Varden's work schedule. So that being said, after this Thursday's episode, we will be back on the bi-weekly schedule, so that way everybody has time to situate themselves, and then the following week is Frontiers of Ebron, episode 3. Sunday. Other than that, well, let's make sure that's not on a holiday real quick before we go further. Oh my god, my heart. Nope, we're good. It's July 6th. Other than that, if you guys are interested in anything that we do, you can find us all on social media under our various handles on Instagram, TikTok, so on and so forth. Feel free to reach out to us and check us out. That being said, and then Dimensional Dial, we still do not have a date locked in, but we are projecting to have the next episode take off next month in July. So be on the lookout for that. We'll keep you guys updated. I can. I'm there with you in the anticipation. I want to bring that campaign back because that's my pride and joy. That's my babies. That's my pride and joy. Other than that, that is all we have for you. Let's go ahead and get back into the scene of which we left off with on Tales of wrong story. Heads of the Empire with this wonderful cast. Let me pull up my Obsidian notes that are now on my computer, thankfully. The crew faced off with an entity known as Ketvar Blood and made a deal. Before finalizing the deal, the Sith Pure Blood pulls Rawl to him through using his mastery of the Force Power move and passes on knowledge and mastery of one Force Power, the power of Endure. This ability, actually, we're not going to spoil that just yet. We're going to let you guys discover that in the moments that those do transpire. He also passed on additional knowledge, but was cut short on it with his connection by the recently returned brother, seemingly Jedi, but has said otherwise. Oho, possessing a blade of light after defeating a lost brother that he's been in conflict with for an extended period of time, has reunited with the crew just after the events transpiring between Oho or Chav and Rawl when dealing with Ketvar Blood. The roof caved in with Oho standing over the pinned body of the lost brother, and in the wake of this destruction offers the still living brother to this entity as a offering to deter the interest of this entity away from Rawl. Piqued by this offering, Ketvar still had plans in store for Rawl before taking up such an offer. And in those plans, he forced himself upon Rawl, bestowed ancient knowledge, wording, I know, bestowed ancient knowledge that was lost to time into Rawl before his connection was severed by Oho with his newfound ability, the Force Power Suppress. In this break of contact between the entity known as Ketvar Blood and Rawl, Oho struck the lost brother that was pinned beneath him in a last-ditch effort to make an escape and deter pursuit, and fled with his crew and his brother in tow. In the scuffle, a pack of Tukata was summoned and sent after these adventurers. Dove, the ever-reliable tank, drew the larger attention of the Tukata, thinning the herd that's in pursuit of Chav, Oho, and Ego, and Chav, Oho, and Raw. Sorry, I was forgetting one more. In the effort to slow down pursuit by impressive tactics by both Oho and Dove, Dove placed a thermal detonator along the supporting wall of the cavern that she began to ascend, and Oho reached out with his newfound mastery of the Force Power pull, or move, and brought down the environment overhead of the Tukata that were in pursuit. This is where our story picks up, and where Whether or not the adventurers are in the clear is to be diced. Let's bring down the volume to a reasonable level here. Thank you. As the dust begins to settle between the crew, you find yourselves bracing yourself in position as the reverberations and the concussive force of all this debris and stone comes caving down behind you. You can't help but choke on the dust that floods these tunnels. Shortly thereafter, another concussive wave sweeps over the tunnels as a concussive blast from a thermal detonator expels and pushes the dust away from you, clearing the air immediately around you. You can feel the heat radiating, almost blistering your skin, even at such a distant proximity. And as you crest the corner or the curve of this tunnel, where you're able to take in the current trajectory of Dove as she is ascending this cavernous hole that Oho had descended down upon. In that moment, you watch as this blast wave rushes up and envelops her and begins to violently thrust her upward, sending her careening. The shockwave is strong enough to stagger your steps. As you try to push forward, you find your foot dragging and catching stone, and you have to brace yourself for a moment to stop from falling prone. And as the shockwave passes over you, your ears begin to ring as the proximity of this blast permeates even into your core. You feel the fluttering of your heart as this concussive wave disrupts your heart rate. Your head begins to pound as the concussive force begins to cause minor hemorrhaging. You recenter yourselves as your hearing slowly returns to you. You look over to where you last saw Dove as the flames and dust begins to settle. And she you can hear the constant thrum of her thrusters that keep her aloft as she continues to ascend. You know that your companion is still safe and still able to fly. The winding tunnels ahead of you, giving you pause as you look at the rough sketch or the rough draft of the map that Roll had theorized would be the possible, given the layout of these tombs. There's three passages in this fork. Left, right, and middle. However, the sketch that Rawl had devised only depicts 2 points or 2 routes at this juncture. Before we go further, let's go ahead and roll our luck points for the day. If somebody would be kind enough to present the game table.
I will see about pulling it up.
Also, don't clear it off because we did.
We did roll.
Ooh. We got Ren, Chab, Oho. Let's go ahead and roll for Rawl. Man. When I roll for him, of course he rolls light side. How dare. How dare. Okay. To the game table, we shall have the table. We have 4 light side, 1 dark side token. At this time, let's go ahead and have whoever's leading this charge through these tunnels give me a. Let's do a I guess this would be coordination. Trying to line up the passage with the rough estimate of Rawl's predicted map.
Coordination, you say?
Yeah, I'd give that to you. Coordination. No boost die, though.
Okay, no boost die.
This is just a basic coordination check. I'll give it a hard difficulty.
Would you like me to roll the difficulty die?
Yes, please. You guys roll harder for yourselves than I do.
You sure about that?
We're about to find out. Hey. All right. As you line up, as you bring up the hollow image of this tunnel system that Rawl had depicted for you, the slight deviation kind of with this third route kind of still falls in line with the trajectory, and you choose to go down the right tunnel as it seems to still ascend in the direction that you need to be going in order
right
to
as in direction or right as in correct?
The correct
Okay.
tunnel.
Just one was like dubious, the other one was yay.
Yeah. So the other 2, one continues to level out. It doesn't ascend any further. The left one, there seems to be some sort of a dip, and the far right tunnel looks like it continues to ascend. And out of between the projection and these layouts before you, it looks like the right tunnel should be the correct tunnel to continue ascending. And as you do, you become more confident that this was the right choice as you continue to make your way up. As you do, as you come to the about 250 foot mark, the tunnel begins to make a sharp curve, and also begins to ascend sharply. Okay. At this point in time, what is your guys' current thought process? Are you guys slowing down to maintain strength, or you guys are keeping full gun ho and beating feet? Okay.
Anybody against?
I'll say that Oho is probably in the rear. They stayed in the rear of the group. Just basically covering the exit. because they were the ones who stayed last to bring down the rock.
You would actually take note that Rawl would also be dragging behind with Oho, but kind of trying to take on the more defensive position. But I would probably assume Oho would probably outmaneuver him in that aspect. But he has his repeating blaster unslung and at the ready as a heavy repeating blaster, I should say, at the ready in case something does arise. That being said, you guys continue to make your way through the tunnels. You come to a flight of stairs at this point as the tunnel transitions from carved rock or burrowed rock, I should say, into carved steps. And about 250, maybe 300 feet up, you can see the threshold of a door.
Does the door appear locked?
As you ascend the stairs, there doesn't appear to be any locking mechanism. However, there is no handle, and it is just solid stone.
Okay.
Um,
Go ahead.
I think considering the fact that we're still going full force and this door is there, as they're progressing and they see the door, Oho raises their hands as they attempt to use move
Okay.
to try and move, like just attempt to feel through the force if they can move this thing somehow in any direction.
What is the intent? Are you trying to lift, force the door out, or pull the door in?
Does the door look like it is a single? Does it look like there's a crack in the middle? That
It's a it's a singular solid slab of rock or stone.
Mhm.
As you approach, you do see grooves align on the outside, on the exterior of the stone slab, or guiding rails, I should say. So I'd say you'd get a pretty rough idea that this door is supposed to slide up.
Yeah, that's gonna try to do.
Okay, go ahead and give me a ranged heavy attack with the force move. Let's take a look here.
Do I do an attack or do I just roll the force die?
Give me 1 sec.
Force
You have to. Well, it's you have to incorporate a skill with it, as well as the force die. The force die generate the points to succeed a check. Magnitude, range. Force user can hurl objects by making a move power check. Range combat check combined with a move power check. So you're trying to lift it. So I guess you wouldn't have to, unless you're intending to.
Says ranged combat check. That sounds like it could be range light, range heavy, or gunnery even.
Yeah. If you're trying to lift it, I'd say there's no need to make a combat check. So yeah, go ahead and make a force power ability check. Just roll the force die that you have available to you and to generate points. All right, you got 2 points. So you got 1 point to activate the basic power. You got 1 more point to increase range, magnitude, or strength.
Probably that's going to be the magnitude, because I'm assuming the door is bigger than what the base ability of the power does.
Increase targets affected equal to magnitude. So yeah, it increases the silhouette size that you can affect. Okay, that works. You see the stone that currently blocks your path, and seeing the guiding rails of this stone slab, you begin to reach out with force and lift. It's not an easy attempt, but you can see as the stone begins to shift and ascend slowly. Is at this time, as the door slowly rises about 2 inches off the ground.
Run, Piggies, run. You think you are safe? Hiding, shrouding yourself in the force. But this is my domain. You will fight for every inch of life while you reside within. Hurry, little piggies. Hurry.
With that, you can hear more barking deeper in the tunnels as the stone continues to rise.
I think as Oho is doing the lift, he just calls out to the group and he just says, "Whatever you do not stop. Just keep going."
I'm curious if you thought there'd be an argument to that, as he's just huffing it as fast as he can. Probably like right in step with ego at this point.
You guys watch as the stone rises about 6 inches. 7. This is a slow-going process, and as you watch the stone rise, you look back and you can see down the corridor shadows shifting in the distance as you can hear claws dragging against stone. Rawl readies his heavy repeating blaster as he takes up position to guard the rear. I don't know how much longer this is going to take, but we're going to need to move fast. You ready to go?
I'm probably going to say that. To make this faster too, I think that lifting that door is not an easy feat for Oho. I don't think Oho races the door all the way. I think as soon as the door has enough space for people to go under, it's a go, go, go.
Mm-hmm. The door's currently at 7 inches. I would probably say the smaller of the group could squeeze through. But it is a slow-going process. So somebody like Rawl, I mean, he is a small guy, but he has a fuck ton of gear on him. So he needs a little more room to get through. I.e. that heavy repeating blaster that he's carrying.
Can Ego help in any way to potentially make it faster?
Do you have the force ability move?
Like the basic and like one silhouette up. So
All right.
mean, worst comes to worst, like Chav wants out. He'll put hands on the door and start lifting if he needs to. He's got an exo glove, which is specifically designed to help move cargo.
That's fair. Go ahead and if you have the force ability move, go ahead and make a ability check to see if you can generate enough points to help Oho lift this door.
Want me to roll on this bitch?
This is nice. Ego strong suit.
I was asking our GM if he would like me to roll into this as well. But if any successes I can do, I would help.
You have the exo glove.
2 light sight.
You rolled?
2 light sight.
Ooh, that's 2 points that you have that activates the basic ability as well as 1 upgrade ability.
Yeah, that's what I
for a
needed.
So
I think Ego is essentially copying whatever he saw Oho do just now. Not really understanding, because this is not his forte, but he's just going to try and see if he can help at all, because he wants to get out of here so bad. So bad.
yeah, so you see Oho kind of reach out through the force, and he's trying to. It looks like he's trying to like get underneath the stone, but not directly. And you see that, and you extend your senses out through the force as well, almost feeling the stone in your hand itself as you stand stand by Oho's side, and you compel the stone to rise. Oho, you feel the burden shift slightly. Go ahead.
If I may, I think when Oho senses Ego attempting to help and seeing them sort of like try to imitate them, Oho just starts coaching them. Like he just starts to speak to it the way that like Eliza has spoken to them about the Force in the past like few like weeks, months.
Mm-hmm.
And he's just his eyes and everything is just focused on the door as he's keeping the motion, and you just hear him sort of quietly and with that like strain of the tension of his body just being engaged is just try to do not think about the separation between you and the door. Do not think about the separation between me and you or the door, you and I. Just believe and trust that you can sense it and just focus on the motion that you want it to do.
I'd say probably in this moment you would hear Eliza's words in the back of your mind. Focus on the energy that penetrates the stone. Use that connection. It will lighten the burden.
Yeah, I'd say Oho just hearing those words in his head sort of takes them his own version of it, trying to think of like, I'm saying this to someone who I don't know how much training they have, just like I didn't have much training. And so he just sort of thinks of, don't think of the door just as the outside of it. Think of it as everything of it. Just, if it helps, imagine a version of yourself underneath it, pushing up effortlessly.
And with that, Ego, you begin to take this guidance and envision, or actually, let me give the reins to you to narrate how you help get past this door.
I think Ego is trying to take in what Oho is saying and feeling the immense pressure of whatever Tukata is still coming for them, and is honestly the copycat nature of everything that he's learned in the past. He doesn't still fully understand how this works, but he's trying to take in Oho's words, and it's really the last bit where it's like, just imagine yourself pushing it up. That's something that he can hone in on and focus on, because all of this immaterial stuff doesn't really make sense to him. But he visualizes that, and when it actually begins to shift and he can feel some heft, not in his hands but in his hands, he just says, Ah, shit. And just starts pushing the door out.
I like it. Chav, you watch alongside Oho or Rawl as these two begin to work in tandem with one another. They almost seemingly moving in synchronicity as they begin to ride almost lift the stone slab up onto their shoulders and begin to lift it above their heads. The stone slab moves out of your way and clears the path, leaving it unimpeded for you. And in that moment, you, Chav, rush through the threshold along with Rawl remaining slightly behind to cover the door so his brother and Ego can make their escape.
Chav will make it through the door as if it, like you said, unimpeded. Just even if he's got to duck a little bit, whatever the case is. Once he's like safely through it, even still, like that door wants to come back down, and that door is a sort of like bulkhead checkpoint that we can use for things that are coming. So Chav will, like, once he's through, kind of slide before getting back up to one knee, pulling his holdout blaster and aiming it past Rawl down the hallway, just in case something comes within short range of him, that he can start shooting at it. So in his main hand, he's got the holdout blaster, but just in case, he's also got his exo glove handy.
Okay.
Technically, I could dual wield those, but I'm not really good at dual wielding, so I hope not.
Okay. Chav or Rawl and Ego clears the threshold. Oho and words. Chav and Rawl clear the threshold. Oho and Ego, you guys see that that they have cleared the doorway. However, Dove is still behind.
Have we did
So
they manage? Did they like join our group, or are they still making a different exit?
They were ascending a different, you and the last brother went deeper into the tomb that you now find yourself in, Naga Sadao. You went towards, the two of you went towards the main chamber where the sarcophagus of Naga Sadao is supposed to be, and that's where your initial conflict took place. So you know that there's a good chance that they're probably going to take that route to get out. And I would say this would probably be the time where you guys would coordinate with one another to figure out what's the egress route for the safest egress route. Because you know that chamber has large wooden doors that are not easy to move. You open it, you run the risk of having a closer tail on top of the group. However, you guys already have assets in motion outside of the tomb with Guy and the Crypt Chasers. So egress would be risky utilizing that doorway, but not impossible. If Dove comes through this door, this threshold that you currently have open, there's no way these Takata are moving the door. Not easily, at least. At least not without the help of the entity that you've encountered below. But you get a sense that maybe, or hopefully, that individual is currently distracted by the remains of what you left behind. So it's a matter of coordination at this point. What would be the safest bet for the crew as you wait for Dove to arrive?
Because that's the thing is my what my brain is doing is, and this is probably just me, the player, because I don't know that Elho would know this, even though technically he was the one who fell through the many steps.
Yeah.
Like if Dove came through and then emerged with the armor through the holes of the various levels that Oho fell through, then Oho technically knows that the route that we are currently on is not the route that he took when
Correct.
he went to meet the lost brother, which means that they would have a different exit route than the one that we are currently in, because this is not the route that Oho came through.
Yeah.
That being said, so it doesn't come to metagaming, I think after, as Raul and Chow are clearing the space and the doors being held, I think Oho speaks to Ego and just checks with them, as in, do you know if Dove has a safe exit route? Are you in communication with them?
And I think Ego is he's still picturing this as a physical interaction, so he kind of visually like shifts his weight as he goes to reach for the communicator. Dovely, are you gonna be fine?
Took a nasty bump from the thermal detonator, but I'm currently ascending the hole that I went up. Should be clear. I don't have any of those creatures in pursuit of me right now.
Yeah, she's good. Let's go.
As soon as that is said, Oho sort of urges Ego to go first under. So they will hold, so basically they can do the hold while they're moving in, and then it'll be that very slow kind of passing of weight distribution through the force of doing that, making sure that they go through. And after they go through, as Oho is coming in, most likely they will just
as this whole situation is taking place, you do hear Raul opening up fire on down the corridor, as you can see hordes of two cottages clambering over top of one another, trying to get to the top of the stairs. You quickly dive through the threshold, relinquishing your command over the stone together, and the stone comes crashing down with a thunderous clamoring, and you can hear on the other side of the stone as flesh and claw begins to impact into the stone slab. You can hear them gnashing their teeth on the other side and trying to force their way through, but the stone seems to be holding true. At this point, you turn your attention to where Dove should be arriving from. Do you guys make your way over there to make sure that her passage is clear, or do you make your way out of the tomb and wait for her outside?
How far from the exit are we?
You guys are in the main antechamber, where further in, eastward is the chamber where the sarcophagus of Naga Sadao should be located. Is about 300 feet to the east. From your position, you are about 150 feet into the main antechamber of the tomb of Naga Sadao. So you're not that far from the entrance of the tomb itself. 150 feet away from the entrance of the tomb to outside.
So just to recap, what is the feet distance between us and the exit?
150 feet to the exit, 300 feet to the doorway where the threshold, or where the chamber is for Naga Sadao's tomb or sarcophagus.
Okay. And you said that these particular doors to this exit 150 feet away are wood?
The doors for the tomb itself is stone. Or no, not stone, metal. The doors for the chamber of Nagasadow's sarcophagus are wood. Large, heavy wood.
And so the doors between us and that chamber currently are closed.
Yes.
Do I know?
No, because you would have been rushing through. You wouldn't have time to close the door behind you. So no, they are still open.
Okay. Do we hear the sound of like the
Thrusters?
the thrusters of the machine? Is there any commotion, fire?
Give
weaponry?
me a hard perception check for me.
Is that everyone or just
Whoever cares to try and observe.
Those 3 successes.
Okay. You go. You're a little preoccupied with getting out. Oh, you succeed. Jav, I'm assuming you're rushing out as well, or are you doing the perception check as well?
Perception check is to try to get eyes on Dove.
To get a situation, to get situationally aware of where everybody is at.
I mean, yeah, we're gonna have to try.
You don't have to-
we are
you
a
don't-
crew after all.
Yeah. You don't have to worry about the difficulty because you already rolled it. Just roll the skill.
Perception.
Mm.
Yeah.
Looks like Ego and Chav are of the same mind, getting the fuck out. However, you turn your attention towards your path where Dove should be coming from. You can hear the thrums of her thrusters as she seems to be propelling herself in your guys' direction, but you can also hear blaster fire coming from her position as well. You get a sense that she's probably being pursued right now.
Okay. The door to the exit, the metal door, is that door closed right now?
No.
So that door is open. So basically 150 feet away from where we are right now, there's the exit.
Correct.
Plain and simple. Okay. Well, because of certain events that occurred in the battle that the rest of the party didn't see with the lost brother, Oho doesn't have his sniper rifle anymore. So I think that he has a moment where he calls out to his brother. Raul, Dove is coming. They may need support. We need to be ready to close the entry point of this entire cave. I say that Oho doesn't look at him directly. He's probably standing a little further toward the Nagasadao section.
Mhm.
I think probably now, even though they're still in the heat of the battle, whoever has paid some attention to Oho's face, I mean, he's looked beat up since he arrived because he had been battling before, and so it's like he has burn marks on his body. You know, there's one side of his face has like blood or like falling from like his skull, and it actually like one of his eyes you can't really see because clearly like because of the blood is just closed up.
Yeah.
But he seems to be, unfazed by it. But that's a moment where he sort of puts his attention toward the entry point of the tomb of Nagasadao, where he's hearing doves approach. And I think what he wants to try to do is he wants to try to tell the group, someone get the door ready to be shut from the outside.
I volunteer as tribute.
And then it's just, we will need to be quick when Dove arrives, because I believe she's coming with company.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And he's just the hightailing it like as fast as he's beating feet.
And I think what Oha does is actually he sort of takes a stance, and that he ignites his lightsaber and takes a stance in the direction of the gateway of the thing, where he hears the shooting and the thrusters. And I think what he's trying to do, even though this is not really an ability that he has, but what he's trying to do through the Force and through stillness and through that patience, is he's trying to get a sense of, through the sound and the energy of Dove and these creatures, is Dove ahead of them? So like when Dove comes through, is there a breath or a gap of time before these things come through, or is all of this coming through at once? Which means that it's got to be like the reaction time has to be
immaculate. I
Don't
was saying,
worry about it.
I'm worried about it.
They sounds like coordination. I got this.
Actually, that's a good point. Go ahead and roll me a coordination check to kind of gauge the distance between the conflict between Dove and out of that.
I meant coordination sounds like me timing and slamming the door after Dove is out, but before monsters.
Okay. Ooh, okay. Oh boy. Let's do hard difficulty. They are in the heat of battle. You succeed. Okay. With that, you can hear the heat practically radiating off of Dove's light repeating blaster. It's the tomb of Ketvar all over again. She's just unloading nonstop, and you can hear her thrusters propelling her backwards. She's banking off of corners as she's running and gunning, kind of not really paying attention to her path, but just kind of relying off instinct and what her heads-up display is giving her. So you can hear the scraping of metal careening off of the passageways, but you get a sense from the sound of blaster fire to the yelps of those that are being impacted by these bolts. You get, I would say, about 10-15 feet of distance in between Dove and these creatures.
Can work.
So it's close, but there is some space, and she's moving fast.
I really wish Raul was here, because I'm going to incorporate something as if it was something that they both know. Oho is going to call Raul and is going to say, Raul, you still remember the Trinity Lock? And what the Trinity Lock means is 3 points of impact on a threshold on the outside of it to weaken this space, so that later that can be manipulated to make it collapse. And so that threshold is locked.
Gotcha.
And so what he's trying to, like, the hint of that is, if Raul does remember, that Raul, using his blaster, is going to basically find 3 points on the right side of the threshold, on the left side of the threshold, and the top side of the threshold, to make just like precise shots. And then Oho is just going to use, after that, he's going to start now focusing on the force to make sure that they have the ability to then attempt to bring that down once.
Gotcha. Let's see if he recalls. Yeah, he remembers just fine. You'll remember. Will you take me for? And he just hauls over this lightning blaster. The barrel begins to spool up. And he just unloads into this the threshold of the doorway as you begin to manipulate it yourself. The blaster bolt's just tearing chunks out of the stonework of this doorway. You can feel its integrity quickly beginning to degrade. Go ahead, Chef.
Well, first of all, I think that this is happening around Chev since I'm supposed to be closing the door, which is wonderful.
No. It's a different threshold.
Gotcha.
You were sent to the exit of the whole place, which is the metal doors. We're currently looking at the doors to the Nagasedao tomb, which is where Dove's going to be coming from into the chamber where we are.
Okay.
Yeah.
Roger.
Trying to slow down the Toccata.
When Chev is in position outside of that door, he is looking for one of two things. A locking mechanism on this door, or B, in lieu of a locking mechanism, he is looking for something to jam the door shut, like a rock to wedge, or if there's a knob, like a stick to jam under the handle, or something like that. If somebody's left, some piece of archaeological equipment, shoving a pickaxe in there or something.
Yeah.
Whatever the case may be.
These are large metal doors. You would have some type of sealing mechanism. They usually rely on the force to seal these things. Usually. We're gonna need some kind of fuckery to try and work this out.
Fuckery
Let's
is
do-
Chev's specialty. It's a career skill, actually.
Let's do a skullduggery check, a hard difficulty.
Skullduggery.
Yes, because you're going to try and manipulate the mechanisms that are already installed into this door frame to try and create a permanent seal lock, essentially.
What difficulty?
Hard difficulty.
Hard difficulty. Does anybody object to me nabbing a force token?
Do it.
Okay.
Do it.
Okay. So we're gonna.
It's about this time you also see Guy kind of limping over the horizon behind you at this point in his YT Corellian freighter.
That is 2 successes, but 3 threats for the skullduggery. Like I said, it's a career skill for Chad.
Okay. Let's see. You actually, if I remember correctly, you got tools to integrate into your cybernetic prosthetic, right?
That's up to you. I did not request the Chad had tools because when he was wearing a mechanic suit. But he's not wearing that right now. He's wearing his what is it?
Well, you were in the care of the Empire for a little bit, so yeah, they would have helped beef up your prosthetic a little bit. So yeah, they would have given you some tools that you could rely upon with your prosthetic. Giving one of those being a cutting torch.
Hell yeah! Yeah. We're welding this door shut.
So you start tearing up, manipulating the mechanism inside, and preparing for once the door seals. That locking mechanism engages and it cannot be fucking disengaged unless somebody demolitions this whole fucking door.
Yeah.
So yeah, you break out the torch tool.
Chad gets in position. He's got one hand with the exo glove, holding the door open. Literally just like cycles through to the plasma torch. Don't hurry the fuck up already! I want to get the hell out of here.
guy overhead. You can hear his engines kind of. You can hear his engines thrumming, but they're limping.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I'm definitely taking advantage of this. Chad's just gonna look up and be like, "What the fuck did he do?"
As you look up, you see that his frame is like severely warped. He did some. He's been through some shit.
Yeah.
Chav,
I would say probably Chav would recognize also, like, I feel like the type of bent that the ship has would make you wonder what the hell it was, because it doesn't look like a crash. It doesn't look like blaster shots. It looks like the ship, like it's almost like the ship
melted a little bit.
Like what?
Legitimately, like the frame is twisted or something.
Literally, like if it was Play-Doh,
thing
you
is
just
totally-
but
but somehow still drive or fly.
looks like it was melted like butter, almost slightly, just concaved in a odd shape, but still somehow able to maintain its environmental seal in its integrity. But it looks fucking rough.
If he was
piloting with one hand on the handle, one hand with his fire extinguisher, just like
if he had more time to devote more thought power to it, he'd come up with something better. But right now, he thinks that somehow you directed your hyperdrive through a exploding star, and just kind of got melty. And
just about.
He's just like, so he's like, that's a tomorrow Chav question.
It's a question for a later time. Let's get back to this door. And you finish manipulating the mechanism, creating a permanent lock that engage once the door is perfectly sealed. However, Oho and Rawl, inside, you guys position yourselves. You hear as Rawl's heavy repeating blaster's spool begins to deaccelerate. And he looks over to you. All right, your turn. And it's about this time you can see Dove's silhouette down the corridor, and you can see this massive horde as well, clambering over top of one another. She's just unleashing as she's flying, careening backwards, and it looks like a fucking nightmare. You're glad to not be in it.
Yeah, I'm gonna say that probably as he sees that, he calls out to Ego as he says, "Ego, tell Dove not to stop, to keep going. Whatever they do, keep going."
I don't think I need to tell her that, but okay.
It's not gonna take it any chances. And then it's just, as soon as they start to see the approach and like they sort of everything becomes more visible, it's just that thing to a Rawl of like, go, like move. And it's just he like Oho is making, trying to take some steps very slowly because he's trying to focus on the force, but he's taking steps toward the full exit.
Yeah.
But his whole body is like he's taking steps back as it's like his whole
deliberate steps, and
as his energy is just trying to like focus on that, the damage of the repeating blast,
the compromise. Yeah.
And he's just basically, his hands are sort of open up, trying to feel. It's almost as if it's imagining that he has as many fingers as there are cavities
cracks, yes,
created by the blaster, so that he's imagining as if his hands are going through all of this edge of this door, and he's just basically ready to, when he closes his hands, it's as if he's yanking the wall all the way down.
I would say, as this is going on, you extend your senses through the force into this stonework, and you find yourself calling upon a memory of your time with Rawl on Dathomir. Your hands squelching through the mud and muck, creating mud pies, enjoying your youth and the small moments that you have with each other. You can feel your fingers sliding through the earth, and squelching in between through your finger, the gaps of your fingers. And that imagery helps you to imagine the stone almost give way as if it is clay or putty itself, and you can feel the stone give way of this threshold. Go ahead and give me another force move ability check. Nice. 3 points. You feel your fingers through the force slip through the cracks in the crumbling stone, and you clench your fist around that stone and feel it give way. You see as stone begins to pour in like sand, and in dirt following in between, as Dove comes careening through 5-10 feet away from the threshold of the door. You, Ego, tell Dove to don't stop, keep moving through comms, and she replies back, "I'm busy," as she comes passing, barreling through, and the stone eventually turns into boulders and slabs as it comes caving in on itself. The wooden doors themselves, these 12-foot tall wooden doors, tumble in on each other, and the stone and dirt follow and cascade down upon it, sealing this threshold quickly. But you, as you watch the stone give way, you can't help but take notice to a small gap at the top of the stone, of the rubble. And you realize you don't have that much time, but you've created enough of a hindrance to give yourself some breathing room to get off the planet.
Yeah, I mean, I think the moment that as soon as I bring this thing down, like as soon as Dove is out and I bring this thing down and everything is falling, it's immediate. Like that's a turn, catch up to Dove, who's probably going full speed, and Growl and everybody else, and just go.
Whew, okay. So yeah, Dove comes careening through the threshold. You watch as she banks off of the bust of Nagastau, this massive stone bust of the head of Nagastau, banks off of it and goes careening further down the corridor and out into the main antechamber. And you feel stone and pebbles pelt you as she rushes past you. But she manages to avoid any serious damage, at least, with that triumph. But yeah, she is good to go. You guys make your way out of the antechamber and out onto the surface of Korvan.
Slam the door, weld it shut, run away.
Chav, you use your exoglove to assist you in forcing this door shut. As you do, you can hear the mechanism click into place, and the door seals. You all make your way towards the ship's landing. Your improvised landing port that you've created with your ship, or shipyard, I should say, that you've created. And you all begin your boarding process. Are you guys recovering all the gear? Well, I guess. Actually, you guys wouldn't have to worry about your. Yeah, the Crypt Chasers have been up here. They would have been able to get everything loaded up.
Technically, Guy, the moment that Chav is seeing Guy having returned from escorting, like he took on his ship, he took the
Crypt Chasers and
take them to their ship.
Okay. So would you be doing the same thing for this crew as well?
Probably.
pick them up and
Yeah, I mean,
bring them over?
if the distance is like, if obviously if the distance is short enough that like by the time that I land, draw the ramp, bring them up, get up, and keep going, it's too long. Then it's
Yeah,
like
it's a quarter mile of a trek. So I mean, it's a long trek on foot, but the process of loading onto the ship would take longer than on
if
foot.
the process of loading is bigger, then a guy would basically be hovering, like he would have the ship hovering over the temple, keeping an
Guns
eye
straight.
on things. Yeah, basically, it's like as he sees them move out, seal the door shut, and start moving to the landing spot. It's just keeping an eye on it and having
Okay.
Gal keeping like using all the sensors and radars and things that are still functioning. In case there's any movement or any traction that is not part of the people that we know.
Okay. With that, have Guy and Gal perform a computer's check to monitor life readings while you're in position. Let's do a hard difficulty.
I'm gonna put the input for Gal manually because she's the computer's whiz.
Right. Go on. Okay. Let's see. Let me refresh. There we go. Nope. Still waiting.
Good job, Gal.
So that's Gal's check.
Let's see. Do I need to refresh again? Yes, I do. Okay. Cool. 4 successes, 1 triumph, 3 advantages. Let's do a hard difficulty. Here we go. Yep, no problem. All right. You can you turn over to Gal and ask her to do a quick scan of the immediate surrounding to get a better threat assessment. Gal begins to go into alert mode as she starts sounding off with a bunch of chirps, whistles, and as you look over, you can see the scanners light up. At first, it's like 10, 15, then it goes from 20 to 30, 30 to 50, 50 to 100. The lifetime scans are being overwhelmed. Whatever is going on, there's a lot of them. More than the sensors can give an accurate count of.
Activating comms to Chav as he goes. Chav, you pissed them off.
Yeah, I have a bad habit of doing that. You're actually one who should talk. It looks like you got a chip in your windshield.
I'll polish it later.
It's probably at this point that you start to see these large horse-sized canine creatures pouring out of cracks and crags in the ceiling of this tomb that you're currently in position to watch over. I'm assuming that's when you start unloading into these creatures.
I think I'm gonna check with Chav and I go.
It's like a scene straight out of AVP.
Yeah, so it's like, hey, car racer, anyone left behind in that tomb?
Heck no.
Anything precious that anyone will be suffering or crying about if this thing were to go down?
You got a man gun on this thing, or so we can both light this fucker up.
Roger that. And it's just that thing of guy just has a thing of the ship, turns on the ship targeting system. The targeting system just like blinks out, blinks in, fucking shakes. You just see him sort of and it's just adjusting it. And then
is there a turret on your right?
You just hear him almost like, I didn't mean it. It is just that he actually is going to use Thank God that I made this fucking PDF. I'm going to use my. I don't even know if I have the stats for this. He's going to charge his missile launcher.
Ooh.
It's a limited ammo, but I believe that I have still a couple of
Yeah,
those.
you only used one during the space
Yeah,
battle
during
before.
the. Well, no, I used one with the giant thing that came out. I think. I might be wrong.
I don't think so.
No, it was just heavy repeaters.
Oh yeah,
And,
I used
turrets.
the harpoon thing. Is the
Yeah, harpoons.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So then technically I still have 3. So I don't know what. These are long range, which would be the thing. I would
So-
make sure
On a planetary scale, that would put you at the range of short. But this is a space grade gun, or weapon, so this is going to do a fuck ton of damage.
So
Is there a turret on the YT that Chev can grab?
you guys are not on the YT though?
Oh, I thought
Yeah.
that you came and picked this
No,
up. Okay.
because the coming down and loading you in would have taken longer than you guys getting it. So I'm just basically like keeping air cover.
And I don't want to shoot things. Okay.
And I know I'm sure that we'll have the opportunity. What was I going to say? Do I, based on the location of the landing zone that the party is going to, are they safe from the impact?
Currently, yes. They have gotten out of blast radius of the tomb. So if you're just targeting the tomb and the creatures on it, the survivors on the surface are at a safe distance at this point. They'll just get some concussive forces, maybe a slight TBI, but nothing severe.
Perfect.
Those close range ordnance is a bitch.
So what I'm going to do, let me see, what do I have with Guy on his? Maybe just in a quick no, raise debilitating shop. Make up may spend this weapon for vehicles. Durable, toughen, enduring, jury rigged. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and do a gunnery check with Guy. Probably the way that I'm aiming this thing is center mass. And I'm making sure that I have elevation, because what I'm attempting to do, knowing that this thing has tunnels and caves and everything, is I'm attempting to angle the YT so that I can shoot the missile in a way that goes center, but not like center to where the door is, but rather to go through the door to what what I can
To compromise the foundation of the tomb
Yeah,
itself.
I'm basically
Okay.
trying to make the tomb like impact as close to center as possible, and Guy has scanners from
Yeah.
before to make that thing implode, like just basically fall in.
I like it. Breaking out the bunker buster. I like it. Okay. All right. Go ahead and make a gunnery check. This is close range. Non-moving target, so a long range weapon at short range or close range.
I mean, it wouldn't take me much to get to at least mid range, so it's
Yeah.
not a,
Either way, let's say it's a average difficulty.
okay.
The target's not moving, so I'll give you a boost die on that as well, since
Cool.
you're targeting the tomb itself.
All right, I'm running it with the average difficulty on it already.
Okay.
Huh.
Nice. All right. Are you unleashing the whole payload, or are you just doing it?
No, that's a. I mean, again, like you said, this is a missile. Like this is not. I don't need to, use the other. I'm
So we're not
trying-
dumping the whole
I'm not
payload.
trying-
You're just.
I'm not
you're-
trying to Death Star the Korriban.
Yeah.
I think the way that it works is just like he sees the things coming out of the different
I would-
locations.
I would
And then-
say this is probably going to cost you at least 3 missiles to pull off. One to destroy the exterior walls, creating a small opening for the secondary missile that will destroy the structural integrity of the floor of the antechamber, which will create a pocket that the third missile will be able to penetrate deeper into, creating a bunker buster effect and causing it to implode in on itself. So, yeah, 3 missiles.
I
And
would
you'll-
say that basically what happens is guy has that moment where he's like gets the targets, puts the angle, and just to himself he's just talking what he's doing. The whole thing is just farewell, little friend. Throws the first missile, it explodes. He just has the moment where he like checks the scanner, where like the last area where his scout droid that he said the scout droid thing that he said
Yeah.
got lost.
Oh yeah, that poor guy.
Did we grab that? Did we have an opportunity to grab that? Were we ever
No.
in the right spot?
Nope.
No.
Okay.
That thing was going deep into like it was just going and going, and then eventually,
Yeah. A whole different route. Yeah, unfortunately.
and it's just that thing of you will be remembered since the second one, and then it's just last one is thank you for flying Hawkbat, and then last one it just sends the last missile, and the whole that's when it just blows up the center mass and just
Yeah. Yeah. The 3 missiles propel forward from the YT freighter of Chav guy's ship. One.
I understand that Freudian slip since Chav's the better pilot.
no actually
Well-
accidentally I sent the third missile I sent it to Chav's ship.
Joke's on you. Chav ship isn't here, so you just bombed Rawls' ship for no reason.
Okay. It's got targeting abilities.
The second one impacts into the interior, creating a compromised foundation. Third impacts penetrating deeper and causes a domino effect of collapsing tunnels, burrowed tunnels, and dungeons all begin to implode on themselves. You see as the Takata that have made it onto the exterior of this tomb began clambering their way down, like literally from the scene of AVP. The aliens trying to make their way up to the top of the tomb to get to the predators. They just go clambering down their 6 legs, and the stones gives way out from underneath them, and they just begin to descend in this beautiful, almost like symphonic descent into a fireball that begins to envelop the ruins of this tomb, and the foundation itself begins to crumble, surrounding the tomb itself, and you watch as it begins to descend into the lower depths below. This shockwave begins to traverse out towards the center of the Valley of the Dark Lords, where the crew makes their hasty escape towards the landing pad that they've created to begin their escape. Some of you go stumbling forward as this shockwave causes you to lose your footing, but you continue to make your way. I'm going to need coordination checks, agility-based checks from everybody. Yeah,
Also,
let's do.
the last thing that guy does when he hurries to lowers the ramp while still flying, puts a harness around his belt so he can do it, gets on the ramp, where the ramp is basically the opening is looking toward the hole of the tomb that is falling down, looks at it, turns around, raises his camera, takes photo, drops his face again, goes back inside.
What is
love it.
the difficulty for the coordination check?
I'll roll it on my end, so everybody has the same difficulty. But everybody on the ground, I need a coordination check from. Jesus, Chav, relax.
Can't. Don't know how.
Jesus. Okay.
Holy shit, Ego!
Okay.
Did you
Okay.
just get 2 triumphs?
Two of them.
2
In a row.
in 1? 2?
Oh, that's deep,
Victor, I don't
dog.
think I've ever heard your voice go that high. Victor, dogs in my neighborhood are starting to howl.
Dove would probably still be. Well, no, her fuel cells ran out after that escape, so she's definitely on foot by this point. Let's see how she does. Oh yeah, she's fine. That fucking suit is more than sturdy. I would say Ego and Rawl kind of lose their footing in the shockwave for a moment, but nothing too crazy. You guys are able to still make your way to the ships, no problem. But yeah, you guys do go stumbling for like 5 or 6 feet before you regain your footing. That being said, you guys all make it to the ships. You begin emergency departure. Ignore all pre-flight checks. We're getting the fuck off the planet.
Jav did his pre-flight trip 2 days ago morning. It should all still be good.
All right. You guys begin the boarding process. The crypt chasers have already begun their ascending. By the time they saw you guys running out of the tombs, flying in tandem with Guy. Looks like Guy or Oho has something to say.
Mm-hmm. So we exited through the area that is the closest to where the landing spot of the team was. However, Ohos came in a different ship.
Yes.
We'll drop you off. We'll leave the gangplank down. You can don't mug shit your way down there.
So I think if we're getting onto Chav's or whoever ship we're getting onto, if we're going
the VCX,
the VCX, or if Oho is picking us up, whichever the case, I think Oho just want to get back to where my ship is. The ship of the Lost Brother is there too.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. And I look
at what kind of ship is the Lost Brothers ship?
And I look at Chav as I go, well, we find out after we take it.
He banks the hardest, unnecessarily hard turn. Doesn't even know where he's going. Like in the middle of the turn, just goes, where?
I know the guy knows where it is. And I think Dove knows too.
Probably. But yeah.
Guy relied to Dove the location of the ships when he was doing when he came upon re-entry, and he actually ended up closer to that area and spotted it.
Absolutely.
What Oho wants to do is Oho actually wants to basically have Chav attempt to take the ship of the Lost Brother.
You don't have to ask.
Yeah, no, I know that I don't.
You don't need to ask. You don't need a force power to understand. Chav will.
Oh, I know. And so that's basically what I'm attempting. We want to take all the ships.
Okay.
We can make this time. It's fine. We got this. I'm getting Rawl ready. Rawl would be co-piloting anyway, I believe, with our whole thing. So when ready, Chav and Oho can dismount the VCX, and Oho can head to his ship, and Chav can head to his ship.
I like it. I love it.
I'm glad you like it.
Because this presents more opportunity for me to introduce some more fun.
We like some kind of fun, right?
You begin to ascend the ships. Oho brings to light the potential to acquire new vessels for your own personal fleet, if you will.
We need that.
Essentially.
There's more to it than that, but yes.
Guy, you begin to make your you turn over to Gal as you get a sit rep of the scanners to see if you were successful in stopping or possibly killing all of the creatures that were escaping the tunnels or the tomb. Gal seems to be still in distress as you see, coming from the north direction, a large cloud of life forms flying your way.
Flying, you say?
Indeed, flying.
In the direction
Flying,
that
you
you're
say?
telling me are coming from the area where the ships that we're trying to get are, or a different location?
So there's I would say, you'd see a swarm of about 50 to possibly 100 coming from the north. Another pod or flock, if you will, coming from the east, which is the direction of the ships that you're wanting. And they are flying at a rapid pace. As you look, go ahead and give me a hard perception check to identify what is coming your way. Ow, shit.
This is for whomst?
I'm gonna say for Guy for now, so he's able to give call outs since you guys are currently in the process of spinning up your ships for flying.
Let's go, baby. Let's go, baby.
Okay. You succeed in identifying a massive horde or flock of Shyraks flying in your guys' direction.
How big are
These are bat-like avian creatures with razor-like teeth native to the planet of Korriban. You have encountered them prior upon your initial arrival. They were more likely to avoid conflict when you guys first arrived. However, they seem to be compelled to make their way towards you guys.
Wait, and so compared to the white tea, how big are these things?
What's their silhouette?
Yeah.
Large. I would say. What's a humanoid silhouette?
Humanoid is one.
One? Okay. So.
Wait, no, I think that Oho is right silhouette of two. Oho, your name is Victor. Hi.
Silhouette of 2 for humanoids. Interesting. Where's the silhouettes at? I want to say silhouette of 1. We'll double check here.
It's one.
I see
Just
a
so.
little silhouette of a man.
Scaramouche.
Will you do the fandango? So yeah, humanoids are a silhouette of 1. So that being said, these Chirac are also a silhouette of 1, so they're just as big as humanoids.
So
They
if we're
are-
using ship weapons, then one shot kills like 7 of them.
Yeah, if you hit them.
There's a cloud. There's 100 of them.
I said 100 to 50 to 100 coming from the north, and another flock of 100 to 50 to 100 coming from the east.
I'm
So
Okay.
gonna say when Guy gets relayed the information that these people now want to go grab other ships, it's just like, so let me get this straight. You just came out of some creature volcano of a temple, and now you have the opportunity to leave, but now you just want to make another gift shop stop. And it's just that moment of he looks at Gal looks at him, Gal shakes their head section, and it's just like, sure, why not? What could possibly go? And then that's when he hears that's literally when he hears Gal just being like, by the way, and it's just, and he looks at the incoming enemies and he says, "Well, whatever you're going to do," is communicating through the comms system. "Whatever you're going to do it fast. I don't think I can. I will do my best to cover you, but my ship is not in a condition to have these things get too close."
Yeah, buddy.
I mean, that
You-
tends to happen when you fly through an exploding star or whatever the fuck happened. But funny that you should have said what you did earlier. Some of my best work was done in gift shops.
Call back. Call back. I love it.
Love that. Pirate is
Um,
great for that.
Yeah. That being said, to put in perspective, should these creatures do close the distance with you, you're not going to be able to shoot them because you guys' weapons have a set fire arc. So
Yeah, but you also said that because some of the weaponry of these ships, there are, it's planetary, the changes
Yeah.
in distance. So
yes,
my remaining weaponry on the ship is medium range, usually.
yes.
So does that mean that at long range I can engage these things?
Let's take the gander.
From
Go ahead, Chad.
my experience previously, I've been told no. I don't know about ship weaponry, but that's another thing. These are medium range for ship weaponry.
Yeah, planetary and space has different range bands.
That's what I mean. If the weaponry that I have on the ship has, which is I have the dorsal and chin heavy laser cannons, and then I have the dorsal ion cannon. Both of them are medium range, but if this is medium range, what do you call it?
In
Space.
space, short range is just out of dog fighting range and beyond the range of most starfighters and patrol boats. However, most self-propelled weapons can hit targets within short range. So these smaller vessels often carry concussion missiles. Short range is still uncomfortably close for capital ships, though not quite as brutally point blank as close range. That doesn't clear anything up for me.
I just basically want to start shooting as soon as I can to the things, the ones that are coming. So basically, what probably Guy will attempt to do is they want to maneuver the ship in a way that they can start targeting the ones that are in the location, like coming from the location where the ships that Oho is trying to get.
Yeah.
But the way that he's maneuvering is not like he's moving toward them like head on, but rather he's sort of doing a banana, like a curvature of a trajectory that is not just horizontal but also ascending. So he's just kind of keeping his ship sort of moving and keeping having the opportunity to expand the width and the distance between him and the target by keeping momentum.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, for the sake of brevity, to make things easier, we'll extend the ranges for planetary to by one range band to allow for space weaponry to kind of reach a little bit further, because it makes sense in that capacity.
That also being said, the VCX's armament, even though I don't have access to it on here, I have seen it before. It has 4 mounted blaster cannons, which have a 180-degree firing arc, aft-mounted blaster cannons, which also have a 180-degree firing arc, and a dorsal-mounted blaster turret, which has a 360-degree firing arc.
Ooh.
So no matter where they are, the VCX can shoot it with 2 cannons at a time.
I like it. The ships have been made available to you guys at this time. That being said, we gotta finish pulling some stuff in. You guys go ahead and do your little pre-flight checks. Direct each other to where you want to operate, where you want raw, so on and so forth. Before we get into this next leg of our encounter,
I actually think that Rawl should probably be in in our journey, are we going to be shooting, or is Chav and Oho going to dismount the VCX before these things get in range?
That's a question for you guys.
Considering that Guy is the person that has the most immediate engagement with these things, I would say that Guy would probably attempt to get the most attention of these things when attacking, to hopefully create an opening so that when you guys travel to the location where you need to get to, you can unload like Ojo and
So
Chav.
we should have space.
Yeah.
If that is the case, then Chav will pilot the VCX over there and switch over, like as we're on approach, so that Ojo and Chav can make a quick dismount together. So Raul should be in the co-pilot seat, and I believe that we have 2 droids on the VCX. One is a medical droid, the other one is an assassin droid, I think, that can fire the turret.
Yeah.
Scuttle?
Uno. No, Scuttle. No,
Yeah.
Scuttle's not an assassin droid. He's just a
He's a battle droid.
battle droid
Yeah.
with the medical programming to assist in field triage.
Oh,
Okay. Cool. Okay, you guys are making your way over to
making your way.
with the ships, or are you guys making
Yes.
your way over to the? Okay, all right,
I
easy
would say-
enough.
And I will say that Ojo probably puts Gal to basically focus entirely on repair and sustain, like basically anything necessary to boost the shields and attempt to troubleshoot whatever can to make the ship stay a little, whatever may come next for the
Okay.
ship to hopefully hold as much as possible.
Just for your accounting, your shields are failing. That's from the attempt to light skip.
We'll attempt
Warning.
like that.
Warning.
So yeah,
Shut up.
you have alarms still going off in regards to shielding. So you don't benefit from. You reduce defense in all defense zones by 1 point until the critical hit is repaired. If the ship or vehicle has no defense, suffer 2 points of system strain. However, you do have system strain for defense zones. So instead of 2, 4, you have only 1 available to you. And that's it. That's the only shielding you have is the 4. All right. Cool. Dove mounts the fire spray, gets that flying. Let's go ahead and move. Let's take a point of strain to get to at least the speed of 2 without suffering too much strain. With Dove, what speed are you guys all maneuvering at? Guy, you could have been at speed of 1 already since you've been hovering.
The VCX only has a max speed of 3, so I don't know if I have enough time to even get up to max speed, but literally because the VCX is the one dropping people off, whatever the midway point is, so that we can slow down to probably a 1 or even 0, so that we can dismount safely.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, you get up to the speed of 2 then. To fly over the top of the tombs to get over to the other side to where these fighters or ships are currently ported. As you reach the other side of the tomb, on the horizon, you do see the clouds of Chirac quickly approaching. And as you lower the gangplank to the VCX, who is making their way on foot to these ships? Chav and Ojo. All right. As you guys make your descent, go ahead and give me a hard perception check.
I will say that, Chav, I gave you a stim pack before, correct?
Yes.
I'm going to say that he's going to hand another one to Chav and use another one. However, this is technically the same encounter, so the HP that we recover from this is actually less.
Yeah.
So it's
Chav is from the first one. Chav has no wounds.
Oh, okay. So then I'll just use it for Ojo.
Yeah.
That's safe.
I heard a perception check, correct?
Yep. 1 failure, 1 threat to beat.
Perception.
Damn it. Chad didn't make it.
Okay. Chav, the throttle of the engine decelerating kind of overtakes your senses, but Oho, your heightened skills in perception, you're able to pick up on subtle details in the environment surrounding you. You are able to see at the very edge of your ability to rapidly shifting foliage off in the distance, about 50 feet away, and quickly approaching the landing site of these ships that you guys are approaching.
Sorry, what's approaching?
You haven't identified them explicitly, but you see large creatures moving through the foliage.
Gotcha. I'm gonna say that Oho probably points that out to Chav. And he just says, "We're going to have to move quickly."
Say no more. And Jev dons his helmet and is ready to go.
So at this point, let's go ahead and get everybody into initiative order, and then we'll go from there.
Vigilance, yes?
Vigilance or cool, your choice.
I will choose La Vigilance. Push button, thank you.
Initiative.
Alright.
Initiative. Add to initiative.
Let's go, guy.
There you go. Add to
That's like
initiative.
5 triumphs we have on the board.
Pretty sure that I have 3. Ego got 2 in just one run because it's Ego. Ego just basically
Initiative.
charmed the dice and was like, "I know that usually you give 1, but what if I got 2?" The dice did not have stand a chance.
Ego,
Okay.
actually, I found this out last week when I had to pilot Ego for a moment, but Ego could charm initiative, actually has the abilities to do so.
4. See that one.
Yeah, but I don't wanna.
I get that because it's like I think it's a once per encounter deal, but the fact that you can is wild.
Yeah.
1, 2,
Can
3.
in Scoundrel, I can spend strain to increase my initiative, and it's like, but I don't wanna.
Yeah, buddy. Ego, what are you doing aboard the VCX? Are you taking a gun or?
Ego
I'm
has a
on-
ship.
I have
Oh
a
shit!
ship. I've got my fire spray Vagabond 2. Don't worry
Oh yeah,
about
we're missing the
anyone.
Echo Celine. That's right. Where is that? There it is.
Actually, I also have something very fun with our beloved Guy, because I see that one of the NPCs decided to roll the same amount that Guy did. But here's the fun thing. Guy has a thing called rapid reaction, which means that allows me to take any of the, I don't know what that symbol is, but it's like the explosion symbol.
Success. Yep.
Success.
Any of the successes that I have on my initiative, I can suffer that amount of strain if I have it on the die to add it to my initiative. And I got 2. So I'm going to take 2 strain to get my successes to 7. And that puts me at the beginning of the initiative.
Okay.
Slay.
So we'll switch the PC slot for an NPC, and then put the first PC or first slot as a PC. There we go. 2, 2, and 2. I like it. 2 or 1, 2, 2, 1, 1. Okay. There we go. I can do math in my head. I wasn't delirious. That being said, let's go ahead and have a word from our sponsors. Just kidding. We're going to go ahead and take a break at this time, right before we get kicked off. everybody take a quick minute to get refreshed, resituated. When we come back, we're going to unveil what the fuck is coming at these people. I can't wait. Don't go anywhere. Hello, all you wonderful Tubi Dicers. Let us return back to the scene of the crime.
Well, the crime's coming, and it is technically Grand Theft Auto.
Yeah, buddy. The crew has begun their relocation to the second landing site that was created by Oho and the Lost Brother, as well as the pirates that had assailed the tomb prior. Is at this time, as the VCX began its descent and the gangplank lowered, so Chav and Oho could prepare to their departure. Oho spots rapid movement coming from the east within the foliage of this of the valley. As you land and begin your departure, that is where we will pick up an initiative. Starting off with the first player character in the initiative.
Quick question. Would there have been any weaponry aboard the ship that when they got on the ship on their way here, or would have asked? Like,
You can have Chav's heavy blaster rifle.
Wonderful. I'm going to say that Oho is going to grab that. First order, since I did it for a reason, Guy being the one that is also seeing all these things that are flying. Of the different threats that we currently have, what are the threats that are the most likely to get to us or get to the location where the ships are the fastest? Or to any of ours?
That would be the threats on the ground, moving towards the ships. The Chirac off in the distance are about 200 feet away. They cover a lot of ground in a short time, so they do pose a threat. However, they're not nearly as much of a threat right now comparatively to what's on the ground.
Okay. And like I said, I mean, I made the roll when we went to the break, but I did.
However, Guy does have his sensors up.
Yeah, I mean, he's been in some of the equipment that Guy has for like the sensing of the fauna and stuff is not necessarily connected to the ship. Is equipment that he has.
Yeah. Okay, I would say you probably have a pretty generic awareness of what's of a threat approaching the far side of the tomb. So that would give you enough reason to be reactionary in that regard. So,
okay,
what's your plan of action?
So I think for Guy's plan of action is his focus is going to be he's going to attack the danger on the ground as he sees the other ship arrive and Chav and Oho get ready to move to these ships. He's going to aim and fire at these creatures.
Okay. All right. So you begin to propel your YT freighter forward to get an overhead view of what's approaching. As you do, as you get in position, you spot what appears to be 3 or 4 large reptilian-like creatures barreling their way towards the landing pad back on the far side of the tomb. Large, scaled, dragon-like in appearance. These lizard-like creatures. Give me this won't cost you an action. Give me a Xenology check, hard difficulty. I'll give you a boost die because you have done your research.
Bleh.
Okay. Hard difficulty incoming. Yeesh. Yeah. You spot these. Go ahead.
I mean, if I use one of my triumphs, it still wouldn't make it, correct?
No. You'd have to cash in a couple.
I'll have to catch what?
You'd have to cash in a couple triumphs to succeed.
I mean, I have like 4 right now. So
the current standing is 2 failures, and that's it. So you need at least 3 to succeed the check.
And this is just to check what creatures these are.
To identify what the potential threat of these creatures.
I'm going to use them.
Okay. You cash in those 3 triumphs to identify the creature that you spot racing towards your companions that have just began to make their way onto the ground. You identify these reptilian as Hissis, dragon-like creatures that have a venom that can that acts as a synthetic neurotoxin capable of paralyzing its victims and so forth.
Immediately, Chap gets in his ear. Hey, lizards approaching your way. Dangerous toxin. Do not let them bite you.
I don't think I'd want them to bite me even if there was no toxin. Just saying.
I don't know your safe words or anything, so I would say I'm just letting you know.
You know, you're a real piece of work.
Calm comes up. Oh, calm comes up.
Okay, so you spot at least 4.
Mhm.
You're linked to them. That didn't cost an action, so you still have an action, and you use your maneuver to get into position to spot these things. What is your action?
I'm going to be attacking that section.
Right. I need to number these guys. There we go. And then let me reveal them and remove the Tukata for the time being. Out here.
Chukata.
There we are. Remove. Okay. Reveal, and change the name of 3. Okay. Ah, shit, I forgot to save. Gotta save, man. There you go. Okay. 2, save, and 1 doesn't need a number because it's the first. Okay. All right. Okay. Good to go. Gucci. Let's do this. Okay. Okay. All right. So you spot at least 4 of them barreling towards the landing zone. You can target 1. They're all about 50 feet away from one another. They're all converging from different sectors of the valley into this one spot.
Okay. I don't really have the stats to the laser cannons, like what their crit or anything like that is. Couldn't find quick.
Which one is it?
I mean, it's basically would be like a laser cannon. I just don't know what they're named for on the stats for the game, so I wouldn't know. But
all right, go ahead and make your attack. I got the IT freighter here.
Okay.
Medium laser cannon. That's a damage at 6, crit of 3. Range is close. Sorry, planetary creatures are a grants you an extended range. So, so you're about 100 feet up in the air. That gives you close range.
Okay.
Just make a gunnery check. Close range is a. Where's my virtual table? All right, games. Or Atlas launch. Go to the space battle table. And then there we go. Short, close to short is 1, or easy difficulty. Short to medium is average. Okay. So, your weapon is a medium range weapon, if I remember correctly. Nope, close range. So, close range, that extends to short, so that's an easy difficulty target.
Okay.
Damage of 6.
That is successes.
That's disgusting. Against a poor little Hissus. Hissus. Okay. All right. Cool. And then planetary or space weapons, I believe, have a significant damage to planetary creatures. Let's see. Targeting a poor little planetary-based creature with a space-based weapon. Damage control, nope. Laser weapons, tractor beams, ordnance, proton, limited ammo, fire arcs, starships, blah, blah, blah. Sorry. 1 second. System strain, protection, atmospheric sublights, handling.
I did just a quick Google search and found a post where somebody says that 1 damage in vehicle scale equals 10 damage in personal scale.
Ooh, there we go. Thank you for that. So 1 has a damage of 6 base. That's 60 plus 1 or plus 6. Fuck. 120 damage. Yeesh. Okay. Well,
Would you also say that because it is a ship weaponry that doesn't only hit one of them?
ooh, we forgot to upgrade the difficulty because this is an adversary. Let's go ahead and make that quick adjustment. You're targeting a silhouette 1 with a ship that is a silhouette of 4, I believe. I forgot to make that adjustment, sorry. Yeah, silhouette 4. So this creature is 3 sizes below you. So that upgrades the difficulty again.
Okay.
So we need 2. No, we need 1 challenge, 1 difficulty because of the size difference. Let's see. Oh, that didn't do fucking much for me. Proximity wise, they're no. These guys are spaced out pretty far, and you don't have any advantages to cash in on for an additional hit, so it wouldn't work like that. However, you do eviscerate this poor little creature. Good shot. That one's dead. Let's go ahead and mark him as 25. Let's do 26 just so I know he's dead. There we go. Perfect. Okay. That'll end your turn. Next initiative is the creatures on the ground. I need to close the distance with them as quickly as possible. So we're going to have Hissus, the Dark Side Dragon, number 2, rush up to the landing site. They were 50 feet away from you. That's 1 range band of distance. Okay. So that does get them within engaged range. Their average height is 2 meters. 2 meters is 16 feet.
2 meters is a little bit more than 6 feet.
6 feet. I ain't talking to you, Siri.
6.5, but
Okay, so yeah, okay, they're just above average humanoid height. Okay, cool. So they're still a silhouette of 1. Good. Make sure. Let's do one towards Oho. We're going to come in with a bite attack. Engaged range. Damn. 2 setback, average difficulty.
Wait, he's trying to attack. Oh,
Yeah, one comes rushing up to you.
yeah.
You have something to stop that?
I mean, he's going to need. He's going to need to add. One moment, please. Please stand by. He's going to need to add 1, 2 levels of difficulty.
So that increases both difficulty die to 2 challenges. Okay. Does it add difficulty or does it upgrade the difficulty?
According to how it's written here, upgrade the difficulty of the check by that number.
Okay, so So yeah, still the same result. 1 success, 6 advantages. So that is a pinning bite. The damage of 6.
Damage of 6.
Damage of 7.
Damage of 7.
Yes.
Soak.
So yeah, it doesn't ignore soak. So yeah, reduce the damage by soak.
By 7.
Your soak is 7? Shit.
Mm-hmm. Oh. Okay.
Oh, I don't even do fucking damage. So I can't even crit. Damn. Okay. So, you begin to make your way off the gangplank. You all of a sudden, as you took your eyes off of the.
No. My bad. That guy has 7. Oho has 4. So it's 3 points of damage.
Okay. All right. There we go. Okay. Okay. So this one, you take your eyes off the horizon for a second to look in the direction of the ships that you're going to try and commandeer. As you turn your gaze back over, you watch as this one large-scaled reptilian dragon comes leaping out of the bush and just comes down over top of you with its mouth agape and clamps down on your shoulder and pins you to the ground. I need... So you reduce the damage by your soak, but the damage is 7 wounds. And then Force and Destiny 181. Difficulty is 2 challenge die. Force and Destiny, no. 2 challenge die. I need, I believe, a resilience check. 181. Double check. There it is. Synthetic neuroparalytic. Neurotoxin. There we are. The poison inflicts 5 wounds if the target fails the check. Each threat inflicts 1 point of strain on the target as the effort of fighting the poison overwhelms them. Okay, so yeah, I need a resilience. It doesn't say what. Poison may be introduced to the target's body via aerosol deployment, food ingestion, or injection via applicator or dart. A single dose has an average difficulty, while multiple doses increases the difficulty to hard. Yeah, we're gonna say this is a resilience check. You can use the force to supplement the check, by the way.
I will most certainly like to do that.
So yeah, go ahead and make a average difficulty with a challenge of 2 resilience check. Would like to call upon the force to help you resist the venom. You may do so.
And you said challenge of 2. Does that mean that I just put the purple red arrow thingy twice?
Yep.
Wow.
Shit.
No
No
I'm
threats.
going to.
You can take on strain to convert points, but you have to cash in a token to do so.
I'm going to cash in my last triumph.
Ooh, there you go. That gives you 1 success, 2 advantages. So that allows you to resist the toxin. All right. Very well. You, however, are pinned for for this round. Oh shit! Wait, no, it's silhouette 2. Difficulty of the attack against a target smaller than the attacker is increased by 1. So I need to increase the difficulty for this attack. Shit. So instead of average, it was a hard difficulty. Let's see if this still fucking lands.
So if that's a failure, that's a miss. Yeah, baby.
Son of a bitch.
Let's go.
All right, disregard all of that.
Oh, okay.
Son of a bitch. Okay. Bitch. That ruined my plan. You still divert your eyes for a second to get a route planned for where you're going. But as you turn your attention back to these dragons rushing your position, you see one leap out of the bush and come at you. Your quick reflexes, you ignite your lightsaber and parry the sailing dragon with
Can I
one
actually
fluid
say that I
motion.
used the weapon that I used the blaster rifle that I have in my hand as a quick reaction of like just putting it in between me and this thing,
Just
rather
kind
than
of
like
racing-
it's literally like jamming that thing in his mouth, like fuck, like it's just like
Okay.
It's,
Yeah.
I managed to keep him at bay, but barely last minute.
Yes. Okay. Yeah, that's fine. So yeah, you broadside this dragon with your blaster rifle, keeping it from pinning you down with its gaping jaws, and you remain unassailed by the Isis dark side dragon. Son of a bitch. That's fine. Okay, next dragon's gonna go for Chav. Hopefully he does a better job.
No,
Can he
I
not? Though?
refuse.
He's also going for a pinning bite
No.
on Chav Visto. Engaged. Build pool, I have to increase the difficulty by 1 because you're 1 size smaller than him.
Yeah,
How
give
dare
up.
you?
Small guy.
Come on, land the fucking bite.
No.
Yes! Woo, that's a big one.
Uh-oh.
Oh no!
That's a big one. Ow. All right,
Okay.
so it's 11 damage.
Soak of 5.
So that reduces it to 6 points of wounds.
I'm still alive.
He has 3 threats generated, so instead of it trying to knock you prone, it knocks itself prone. It overshot the attack, and it lands the bite on your shoulder, but its trajectory pushes it past you, and it kind of goes over your shoulder onto the gangplank on its back, and lets go of you. I'm gonna
It
say
also
you're not
takes
pinned.
5 points of strain.
How?
I am, in fact, wearing a Coromandian SVT 300 stun cloak. 5 points? 5 points? Double checking.
Damn.
Oh, no. 7. 7 points of strain.
Hell yeah!
Damn.
Consequences.
Yeah, buddy.
Listen,
That's-
I may not have a lot of stuff in the melee range, but if you fuck with me, I'm going to fuck with you.
Let's see. I
Provided
believe
that you still send it.
Soak does not reduce strain.
Nope.
So that's 7 points of strain as he is electrocuted in his attempt to try and take you down. Overshoots the attack and falls prone on its back behind you. And that will end its turn as it closed the distance to be within striking distance of you. Next player character in the initiative, please. Oh boy.
Since you just got like damaged, do you want to try to make it to the goddamn ship?
Yeah. So how far away is the ship?
Short range. One range band to get to one of the ships. However, it does take a maneuver to mount onto a vehicle. You son of a bitch.
Nope, not for Chev, it doesn't. Let's ride, motherfucker. You can mount or dismount a vehicle or animal as an incidental instead of a maneuver.
All right.
Yeah, nice fucking try.
You got a freighter that the pirates have came in on. There is the Sith Inquisitor starship. You don't know the protections the ship may have in place, but you do know you have a basic understanding of Imperial firewalls and protocols to secure a vehicle. So you could risk it, or you could go for Oho's ship that he came in on. That was provided to him by a contact. What is the plan?
There is a freighter of some kind. Chev knows ships. If there is anything that is like at all common, might I know what these are?
The freighter is just a basic. Let's go with a. No, that's too nice for them. No, still too nice for them. Still too nice. Let's go with a YV 666 light freighter. Albeit it is in almost derelict condition. It doesn't have the same amenities as the standard YV 666 would have. You get a sense that this was a refurbished project or a used lot. Yep.
Gross. All right.
Yeah.
What about the Starfighter?
The Starfighter that Oho came in on is a
rental.
Make sure. Let me double check. Has hyperdrive capabilities? Yes, it does. 2 weeks worth of travel. It is a M12L Kimogila heavy starfighter.
Can you spell that? Oh, never mind. Found it.
A pretty decent starfighter.
That's almost.
It's a built by Mandel Motors. It's got decent armament, nothing crazy, but yeah.
And that's what Oho came in on.
That is what Oho came in on. Yes.
Okay. And the last.
No, that one didn't have any passenger seating, so this would have been a ship. Sorry, I need to find a ship that was capable of seating more than one, because this would have been something that Oho and Eliza would have traveled on.
Technically speaking, could have been something that Oho commandeered.
That is true. That is possible. You know what? Yeah, we'll stick with that. That's fine.
And then what did the brother come in on?
The Lost Brother came in on a Delta class T3C shuttle. It is restricted. They do have decent firewall protections against theft. Usually, this ship does seem a little old, but this is a very hot commodity.
Okay.
Built by Cena's Fleet Systems. It is a shuttlecraft.
Yeah.
Class 1 hyperdrive.
So, this is like, we hit the ground, these things jumped on us one after Oho's struggle. Chav literally gets flipped this one over on, screams in pain, and then looks up and like freeze frame as like all the stats pop up for everything. Not taking Oho's ship, that's his. The options would be this freighter or this shuttle. The immediate thinking, the freighter is not the best. It's highly customizable, and I'm being told it's in like a derelict condition, so probably not worth too much. Honestly,
it's definitely looking like a passion project.
Yeah, I don't think that I want a passion project when Raw already has the VCX. So, the alternative, this is a shuttle, not necessarily like anything that Chad would use in business, not necessarily the perfect thing for us and the things that we do. However, it's Imperial, and this guy is a Sith, meaning that since I am working for the ISB, and I'm supposed to be working against the Emperor, that if there's any data stored on this, maybe I get the Nothuan Lancer.
I don't know. I know that I guess I made it like too vague, but that is the reason why Oho wanted Chav to be the person to go with him. It's not like pick whichever you want because there's ships galore. No, it's like Oho has his own sense missions and ideas.
Yeah.
So like this ship is a ship from an Inquisitor.
Right.
He knows that there's no time to just sit and browse through it now.
Yeah.
That's why he wants to take it.
Yeah, we got to get off world with it, but so we got to get into it, and that's going to be like as nice as it would be to kind of like maybe flip that freighter for a quick profit. This is what we need. We're going to risk it for the biscuit. We're going for the shuttle.
Oh boy, okay.
So this is a shuttle. Is the gangplank down?
Yeah, it's already ready for prepped for boarding.
Oh, cool! We're getting on.
You just gotta get. You can get on the ship. You just have to get past the firewall for protection against theft.
Once I am on the shuttle, the priority is closing the gangplank. If that's an
fair.
action maneuver, anything like that, let me know now.
Okay. Interacting with the environment. Spend an action to activate ability, skill check, combat check. You're using a maneuver to get to the ship. It's a free action to board a ship with Chav, apparently.
Yep.
So you can take on another maneuver to interact with the ship and close the gangplank, which leaves you an action to start piloting. Or to, not piloting, because you have to get past the security.
We're going to have to work on that. So, yes, I will do all of that. I believe the second maneuver is going to come with a point of strain.
Yes.
Okay.
I
can take that.
2 points of strain. Form an additional maneuver.
I can take exactly that. I cannot use any more strain.
Oh boy. Words I like to hear. Go ahead and give me all right, you're interacting with a Imperial ship that has heavy protections in place. You do have Imperial backing.
Yes.
What do we do here? What's the call? What is the call here? Let's.
He left the computer unlocked. He forgot to hit control to the Windows key in L.
He left
Lock
a
it.
note that says that his password is password.
Yeah, I check under the keyboard. I check under the monitor. Drawers.
Yeah, these chips in. Go ahead and give me a computers check. Let's see. What's the difficulty here? What are we going for? 7. Sentinel. No, that's not the right one. What class is this in? This is a rarity 6. There we go. Rarity 6. Delta class T3C shuttle. Lost Brother. There we go. All right. I got my 2 ships added into the thing, or the table. Get out of here. Okay. So, let's make this a daunting computers check to bypass the security features. I'll give you a boost die for your history with the Flight Academy.
Okay.
I'll give you a boost die for your training with Killbolt.
Okay.
I'll give you a boost die because you have a scomp unit integrated into your prosthetic.
Okay.
And Ego maybe is generous enough to give us a.
Ren's not here, and I believe that I will be rolling for Ego. So, yeah, there are 5 triumphs on the board, and I am going to be using a force token to upgrade one of my ability die. I believe that is everything that we have for all of this. Big money, no Emmys. Big money, no
I will say at least a challenge of 3 for this difficulty. To be
Do you
fair.
want to roll the difficulty first for maximum tension?
Let's do that, yeah.
Watch my
All
hair
right.
fall out from places that are not my head.
He means
I
his
need to get-
beard.
I need to get a fucking fidget toy to stop plucking my bald spots to my beard. Yeah, okay, here's the difficulty. No threats or no despairs generated. That's
Okay.
good news.
So 6 is the number to beat.
Yes.
There's 5 triumphs from Ego. Do not fuck me over. Do not fuck me. Do not fuck me. Do not fuck me. You do not have consent to fuck me.
Oh boy.
A single success, which means that I can cash in. What is it? How many? There's 5 from Ego.
You need to cash in another Destiny token, plus and get a success with that, and then get all the 5 triumphs left to get over it.
So yeah, I'll let you retroactively cash in a token so you can re-roll that ability die as a proficiency die.
If you want to.
You bet your ass I want to. I don't want to lose this fucking thing.
I'd be more worried about losing your character.
Yeah.
You
A
motherfucker.
single success.
So this basically you are able to pass now.
And 6 advantages. Wait. There were threats. 2 threats. So 4 advantages total.
Okay. So you begin cracking through the system's mainframe, beginning to bypass. As you're interacting with the system, you start to hear the self-destruct sequence initiating as it doesn't recognize you as an authorized operator of the vehicle. You begin to frantically work into disabling this safety feature to prevent the ship from demolishing itself, and with it, you inside. And
you just hear no.
and it comes down to like milliseconds. You're punching in all the all the known codes that you've been that have been ingrained into you during your time at the flight academy. You're trying, and you see literal milliseconds left in this timer, and you hit the enter key, and the timer just stops right at 0.012.
Is the ship on?
The ship is not on, but you bypass the security feature in place. You now have access to the ship.
Oh, it actually opened comms to everybody, so everybody just kind of uses, "I'm fucking in."
You just hear guy, what's that? You want me to shut the ship down?
Doesn't even literally just starts going through the motion. Like power, computers. Okay.
So yeah, you make your way over to the cockpit, begin preparations for flight. As you enter the cockpit, you can see Oho. Yeah, you see Oho traversing the surface over to his starfighter. Next in the initiative is the Shyrax. I still have one more Hissus on the ground. Yeah, let's go with that one. We're gonna go with the last Shyrax that's still, or not Shyrax, Hissus that's still alive. Seeing Oho deflect one with his blaster rifle. Like, you're gonna have to break out the lightsaber now to avoid this guy. There's no fucking way. We're gonna do a. Is he gonna try and pin you? No, he's gonna go for a swipe because you already have. It's gonna be hard to get in there. So he's just gonna come in with a leg sweep.
This is the other thing that is attacking me?
Yeah, the another dragon coming in to attack. Yes.
Okay, so it's going to. I'm gonna give it another 2 upgrades.
Okay.
To the thing, and then I'm also going to use this thingy that I have. Where is it? Around the shrouded. Wait, is it my sister? I'm gonna do sense advantage.
Okay.
That is something that I can use 1 per session, and it allows me to add 2 difficulty die to an NPC check.
Ooh. So that increases the difficulty from average to daunting. Do you have to roll force points to activate that?
Nope. So okay. It's a 1 per. What is it?
I think I know what you're talking about. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Let's see. Daunting difficulty with a challenge of 2 setback die due to your ranged melee defense rating. Pretty neato. And here we go. Motherfucker. A despair? You son of a bitch.
So what happens when you mess with Ojo. Just don't mess with Ojo. Just let it be.
Yeah, you see this other one come charging up. It's long ivory talons extended as it comes up with a leg sweep at you. And in that moment, you're like, fuck, I need my lightsaber. And you ignite the blade and deflect the claws, the leg sweep from the claws, severing his several digits from its appendage, and it reels back in sheer pain as you effectively damaged one of its claws.
I mean, if you want to give me free damage on the enemy, I'll take it.
I mean, that's the effect of an despair. The tool or melee weapon the character is using becomes damaged. So yeah, you take off its claws with one of its arms, or one of its limbs. But yeah, that's crazy. That's crazy.
I'll say that for flavor. What happens is that the first one comes in, he puts the blaster between him and the jaws of the first one, And as he's sensing the second one approaching from behind, he does this like graceful spin and then uses the body of the first one that is next to him to basically vault over it. And as the thing is basically attempting to slash while I'm vaulting midair, I basically, as I'm spinning, I ignite the lightsaber while I'm doing the spin, and that just basically brushes through and just give this creature's paw a little shave.
Yep. That's hot. I like it. I like it a lot. So not fair. Okay.
I know you want us dead, but we would like to get these characters out of here alive.
I'm just trying to make it hard for you guys to make off with some booty. Okay. The Shiraks now come into play. They are about 100 feet out. They are going to spend their action, or they're going to use 2 maneuvers, taking 2 points of strain to do so. But they're going to accelerate forward. That's going to put them at from medium to short to engage with the YT freighter of Guy. So they're going to make an attack on the ship itself as they close the distance. Guy, you hear on the exterior of your ship as bodies of these Shirak begin to impact into the hull, and claws and teeth scraping against the metal as they try to do damage on the ship. I'm going to target you specifically, but this is to target the ship because I can't target ships in the table. Let's see. Because they're attacking a ship that is 2 silhouette sizes bigger, that reduces the difficulty down by 1. Or actually, I think it reduced 1 size. Or wait, hold on, silhouettes. Where's the silhouettes? Where are you at? Talents, abilities. Creature can fly. Yeah, that's obvious. Let's go to the Hissis, because they tell me silhouettes. Sleight of mind. Silhouette 2. Difficulty of an attack made against a character 2 silhouettes larger than the attacker is decreased by 1. Oh. It's not 2 sizes bigger, it's 1 size bigger. I'm dumb. I'm having a hard day. Difficulty of an attack made against... Well, the Shiraks are 2 sizes smaller than this the ship, so that makes sense. Okay, increases the difficult or decreases the difficulty of the attack by 1. Okay. So Shirak is going to make an attack at easy difficulty. Yep, easy difficulty. And they're probably not going to be able to do shit because this is a ship. They have teeth. Let's see. Just about. Yeah, they don't do shit. Guy, you watch as these bat-like creatures with no eyes begin to fly into your ship, trying to overwhelm your sensors, your FOV, trying to effectively blind you. Essentially, you're just seeing nothing but leathery bat wings and teeth and claws scratching at the cockpit of your freighter. But yeah, they're not able to do any damage to the ship itself.
If the damage is 5, that would be 1 point of. I would say 1 point of damage.
They have to get over the soak of the ship plus by 10.
Oh,
because this is a personal scale attack against a ship. You have to do at least 10 points of wounds to affect 1 point of hull damage on a ship. So, because of that, they are just currently just slamming into the ship and not doing any real damage, but they are effectively blinding you for the moment. That'll end their turn. Up next is Ego. Ego is on his fire spray patrol craft, seeing Guy being assailed by the flock of Chirac. He's going to turn his guns over to the second flock and open fire. Forward-mounted auto blasters. Damn. Only a damage of 3. All right, Ego, let's see what you can do. That's a gunnery skill. Easy difficulty. They're one size small, so no increase in difficulty. What's your speed? Your speed is currently 1. Two. So, okay. We'll make that. Shit. Nope, we're just going to stick with the easy and make it a easy difficulty. Gunnery. Check. As they open fire. That's 2 successes, 1 advantage with the fire spray patrol craft. That's hurt. That's 5 points of damage on a personal scale creature. So that is 50 points of wounds. Holy shit. Let's see, how many does that kill? $50 points of wounds. What did I just do? Uh-oh, I did the wrong thing.
That's it. They're all dead. We win.
2. Their wound threshold is 2, not 4. There we go. Okay. We're going to do 50 points of wounds. That knocks out. What is going on? That's not right either. I fucked up. Chirac. Current is 2. Threshold is 4. Okay. Threshold is 4. Current wounds is 2. We're going to increase the current to 50. There we go. And that knocks out 22 Chiracs. Holy shit. There we go.
Oh, Ego.
Ego unloads the fire spray weapon system into the block, begins to reverse its momentum using its maneuver to move backwards while keeping its guns locked onto the Chirac, maintaining a short range band. That will end Ego's turn. Last NPC slot, which is the other flock of Chirac that are flying towards Ego's ship. They're going to close the distance and also make a teeth attack against Ego's ship. Probably not do anything, because they don't have enough strength to do so. As they use a maneuver and an extra maneuver to close the distance. Built for a hot exit. I love it. Yeah, these guys are not doing anything to their ships. Oh god, heart. Not even close. Effectively this round, both Ego and Guy are blind for the time being until they can maneuver out of position to clear up their field of view. Last player in the initiative is Rawl. We had Rawl on what? One of the guns, correct?
I just realized that Oho hasn't had a turn.
Oh shit, we're missing 2 player slots.
And to correct what you said, Rawl would be piloting the VCX.
Oh shit, that's right. Okay, so yeah, he's going to pilot, and then we need to get Oho added to the initiative. We did Guy's initiative, we didn't do Oho's.
Oho got 3 successes, 1 advantage when I rolled for initiative. I don't know where that puts them, but
Vigilance. There he is. I
I
see.
believe, technically speaking, the only people that rolled above that were Guy and
There he is.
and the reptiles.
So we missed him. We can. Before I do the NPC's turn, go ahead and take your. Well, actually, it's neither here nor there because we're at the end of the initiative. So both player characters can make their turns now to finish out the round.
I'm okay with letting Raul go first, just to see what happens.
Well, Raw's going to make a piloting check to get the VCX off the ground and start flying again.
And preferably close the freaking gangplank so that none of these things jump in.
Easy difficulty. That's object interaction or environment interaction, so he can do that. Yeah, he closes the gangplank as one of the assists slide off after falling on its back onto the gangplank and close.
Ooh, does it
Once
take
he
fall
ascends.
damage? Does it take fall damage? Like
It felt
7,000
like
fall
2
damage?
feet.
That, screw that. I think 5 wounds.
2
No
fucking
smoke.
feet. It just fell on his back.
5 wounds, no smoke.
Success in piloting. So yeah, you watch as the VCX begins to ascend overhead and make a hasty escape. So yeah, the gangplank closes. It is safe to fly. All right. What's your plan of action?
I am within range of getting on my ship, correct?
Yeah, it's a 1 range band. So yeah, you can get
Cool.
the ship.
I think what I'm going to do with Oho is I would like to attempt to use stealth. So Oho, when the first one attacks him and then the second one comes and he slices this thing off, using the commotion of this thing getting its leg like sliced off and his abilities, he just sort of maneuvers, tries to seek a blind spot. The moment that he managed to divert the first one and then jump over the body of the first one and cut the second one, to use that moment to basically get to the ship, but it wants to do it using. I'll take my action to do the stealth, just so that I get to the ship without them. Hopefully, like ideally, what I'm trying to do is like they don't see me get on the ship, so they don't go straight to the ship. They literally just try to look for me, so that hopefully gives me more of a chance, like more downtime before they potentially decide to actually like rush to the ship.
Start rushing the ship and doing damage to it. Yeah.
Correct.
I mean, they don't have anything against that, so I mean, it's we can try it. Let's see what we come up with. Go ahead and make a stealth check.
Mm-hmm.
So we can test it against their perception, which is a hard difficulty with a challenge of 2. Motherfucker.
Look at our dice.
Let me make sure that there's nothing I can't cash in on.
Victor, you need to get a piece of equipment that lets you get a free upgrade for.
You do
yeah.
understand? You do understand that Oho is doing this, and he doesn't even have the stealth armor that Raul has.
I
So
forgot.
you imagine Oho with that armor?
Fuck. Got 2 points. I could cash those.
I'll take
in.
those 2 light side for me, thank you.
What's their strain? Yep, we're gonna do it. Okay. Cashing in a dark side token to pop to convert those 2 light side tokens over to the dark side. That's 2 points of strain to do so. 1 point for each. That's 3 successes added to the check. So, or that would be technically failures. 3 failures added to the check. So that would make it a 5 failures, 3 threats to beat. With that, you do still have 2 advantages still on the table. 1 against 1 failure. I'll say you buy yourself seconds before the next round, which I mean, you being on the ground, ideally you probably should go first to get onto the ship. I would say they won't start getting at you until the 4th NPC slot.
Great.
Okay. That being said, starting at... Go ahead.
Does activating or turning on the ship and all that stuff, is that actions or maneuvers?
To...
Because it's my ship, so it's not like I don't need to go through any like breaking down security or anything.
You're on the ship. Oh wait, no, you didn't get on the ship. Oh no, you used your maneuver to get to the ship. And then you did you cash in an additional maneuver?
No.
Okay, so you were just at the ship. Then, if you didn't cash in an additional maneuver.
I just want to know that I'm aboard the ship now.
So if you, at the end of the initiative, if you board the ship using a secondary maneuver, which would cost you 2 points of strain to do so, but that would get you in the ship. And then you start the initiative this round, conducting a piloting check that can, depending on how successful you are, could potentially get you moving right away.
I'm going to say, fuck it, we're going to do that. So I'm going to take the 2 strain to get on the ship. So that then we can move on to the next thing.
Get moving.
Like to guide Chav like together through a guided meditation so that they can lower their strain and actually make it out of this mess.
Right. All right. Go ahead and give me a piloting check to just make a quick and hasty exit. I'm going to increase the difficulty from easy to hard because you're trying to just cold start and take off. So
piloting
do this.
Space or planetary?
This would be a space check.
Okay. Are you rolling the difficulty or am I?
I'll roll it.
Okay.
One failure, 3 threats to beat.
I believe in you.
Caching a light side token.
Come on.
Yep.
Wait, why'd you roll one of those? Because that should have given you a
Proficiency die. Yeah.
Oh.
So you might get more than one more success.
Yeah.
See?
Okay.
See?
All
now
right.
You have 4 advantages to work with.
I'll take it. And while that is happening, that's my action, if I'm not mistaken. I'm also going to have Oho use, as a maneuver, he's going to use his Icor transfusion.
Okay.
So he's going to actually give himself 4. He's going to give himself 4 points of wound to recover 4 points of strain.
Ooh. So we watch as Oho kind of, once he gets settled into the cockpit, the exhaustion kind of starts to settle in, but there's still more to be done. So that exhaustion starts to take form take the form of lesions across the face as you convert that stress over to physical damage, and in order to empower your resolve to continue to move forward.
Actually, if I may, what Oho actually does as he feels the exhaustion and he gets on the ship, he actually uses his own thumb and he jabs into one of the wounds that the lost brother gave to him.
Mm-hmm.
He basically inflicts damage through it to bring his body to basically wake up.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just that and that sort of like he just takes it and then uses that pain to channel his Night Sister training, and that's what allows him to transform and regain that strain, taking that damage, but
I
all of a
like
sudden
that.
it's like back onto it.
I like that. That's good. Okay, so with that piloting check, that allows you to go ahead and successfully make a cold start and begin ascending. That gets you to the current speed of 1, allowing you to start lifting up off the ground. That's your action. You still have a maneuver. You can use the fly drive maneuver to accelerate to the speed of 2, so on and so forth.
Technically speaking, I use the maneuver for the
for the transfer.
And
Okay.
see, if I'm already off the ground, and
You're about 5-10 feet off the ground, so you're still within striking distance of these hisses. But
I'm just gonna. I mean, I'll fuck it. I'll now that I recovered, I'm gonna put 2 strain on me as well for the maneuver and get myself off.
Literally, fuck it, we ball.
Yeah, right now, it's like I need to get out.
Yep. Okay. So you accelerate to the speed of 2, allowing you to, or no, you're just driving. So that allows you to maneuver from engaged range out to short range, getting you outside of striking distance of the Hissis. Perfect. Okay. That being said, we're now at the NPC's turn. Who's going next? We're gonna have the Hissis do a. Well, one is dead. He was eviscerated. We're gonna have one of the Hissis do a perception check to try and identify any potential foods in the area still on the ground. Chav, you just bypassed the systems and got to the cockpit and began prep for taking off. So what is your basic stealth?
My basic stealth?
Yes.
How
How many ability dice do you have in proficiencies?
For stealth, where is it? I have 7 ability die and 1 setback die because of my training weights.
7? Oh,
7.
It's agility.
It's agility, bruh.
Fuck. So there's no difficulty above formidable, so we're going to increase the difficulty challenge to 2 challenges to make up for that. That's insanity. And then they are going to use their force, their connection to the force to try and hunt.
Hey, guess what? I ain't got no connection to the force.
Ooh, okay. So that's 3 successes, 2 threats. I'll give them 2 points of strain to do it. But one of the Hissis dragons stand up on their rear legs. The one with the wounded, malformed claw, stands up and begins to flick its forked tongue out into the air as it looks, raises its maw to the sky. As you are prepping the ship to initiate takeoff, you watch as its head, like from Jurassic Park, the Velociraptor is just slowly turning in your direction, and it's like it can see your body heat, and it just lets out a call to the other one.
Chav, like seeing that happen, kind of like holding one arm, looks out the cockpit, watches this happen, and just goes, "Clever girl."
Oh my god! All right,
You gotta try for that.
I like that. That's good. That's the first one's turn. The second one, seeing the call out, is going to rush up to the Delta class shuttle and make a attack at the cockpit as it lunges up at you. Let's see if it can do any damage.
I do. I have access to the page for the shuttle, but I do not see the statistics. They're all question marks.
Oops, sorry. Let me fully reveal the ships to you. My
I
apologies.
think now
good
that
sir.
I have like computers up and stuff, now I would know. But
Yes. That's my bad.
before that, this was all very thematic, and I appreciated it.
I like it. I like it a lot. There we go. Let me reveal all the ships to you guys. Sorry about that. Forgot to do that. All right, cool. The Delta class is now should be fully revealed to you. I'm going to target you.
Make sure.
Target you specifically, but this is damaging the ship specifically.
Okay.
I need to go back to the assist. There we are. Claw attack, as there's nothing really much for them to bite.
The ship has a 4. You said the cockpit, so it has a 4 defense of 2.
The 4 defense of 2. Okay.
4 as in like 4 or aft. Like,
Yep.
I know that's also a number.
Yep. I gotcha. Let's see how it does. Oh yeah, should decrease the difficulty by 1 since it's attacking a ship that's larger than it.
Oh, also, I'm flying it, so...
Well, you haven't gotten off the ground yet. You just bypassed the security feed.
Yeah, but okay.
You're not off the ground yet, buddy.
Let me check some wording here. Let me check some fucking wording. Give me the shit. Hang on.
Remove 1 failure, 1 threat. That's 2 failures. Ooh, so that brings it. Ooh, and it's a triumph. Ooh. I think I have a crit on my hands.
Hang on. Am I considering piloting the ship?
Not yet. You just got to the cockpit. You have to fucking ignite the engines. You just avoided imploding the ship with you in it. All right.
Well, now I also don't want something to burrow through the hull with its force dragon powers.
Yeah, buddy. So that's it's succeeded with its current rating, so that was 9 damage. So remove that failure, that's 10 damage. That's enough to do a point of damage to the ship itself, which allowed me to fucking crit.
No, the ship has an armor rating of 4. Which functions like soak, which if you factor in the way that it goes, you'd have to do 40 damage to this thing to actually hit it.
That's fucking right. Oh no.
I mean, if that kind of ship could be damaged by a reptilian creature, by a silhouetted reptilian creature, if the ship could get damaged like that, then how would this ship hold against the ship attacking it?
I got so excited.
Do you want to do 1 hull trauma?
No, it doesn't make sense.
Give you the crit.
I just love the code. Do you want to take the whole trauma?
Do you want the whole trauma? Do you want to do some damage? So yeah, no, this thing just comes leaping up at the cockpit and just swipes at the cockpit with you on the other side of the windshield. You just see basic scrapes across the glass, but it does not seem to be doing any effect.
It's just like flicking switches and like dials and levers and stuff, and just kind of like looks at you and goes, "Yeah, you look real pretty. Stay there."
Oh boy.
Windshield wipers.
And yeah, you just see the lizard just tongue sliding across the windshield, dragging its maw, just like the American Tail Down Under, that lizard that's Joanna, just like Joanna, just going at it. Unsuccessful. That being said, it's your turn if you want to. You can take the fuck off.
I think that
I'll give you the same option that I gave Oho. You can do a cold takeoff, a cold start with a hard piloting check to just start the engines and just start moving off the ground, and then you can use a maneuver to go.
Just a hard piloting check.
Yeah.
Hard piloting. Would you like me to roll the?
What did I do? I think I rolled it. Let me see.
Yeah, you rolled it.
I rolled it. That was against. What did I do? Oh, a challenge of 2. I did it with a challenge of 2. No, that's your perception, your stealth check. Where's the pilot? Oh, you rolled it.
My bad.
Yeah, I'm confused. Where's your piloting check at? Get off the ground. Did we not do it? Oh, there it
You
is.
did.
Okay.
It's the one.
I rolled the
success,
difficulty.
then the
Yeah,
claim.
one advantage, and then you. Yeah, I see it. Okay, one success, one 6 advantages. You re-rolled the proficiency die to give you 2 successes to get you over the failure. Okay, so hard difficulty. There it is. Let's do it. Okay, there it is. 2 failures, 2 threats.
Okay.
Got this.
Okay.
You can do it.
Jesus. Oh boy. Okay. That is a successful cold start of the Delta class shuttle. That gets you to the speed of 1. You're just hovering across the ground itself at the moment. You still have a maneuver that you can perform.
This is a shuttle, so I can do a maneuver to accelerate, correct?
Correct.
Wait, so wait, I actually just used my my action to start it up, right?
Yes.
Alrighty, so then I have a maneuver. I'm actually going to start the maneuver for drive to start moving up.
Okay.
And then we'll get speed next turn. I cannot make a second maneuver, or I will be unconscious at the helm.
That's hot. It's hot. I like it. Okay. That being said, the Delta class shuttle begins its ascension. Is it safe to assume at this point you guys are just all punching it and getting out of dodge?
Well, yeah. I mean,
Punching it
getting to
means-
range. You need to get out of. You cannot just punch it into light speed. We would need to get
No.
out of range. But yeah,
I'm
like
saying,
slowly
I'm-
but surely.
basically
next turn I will,
asking
yeah.
for brevity to get us out of initiative. You guys are just getting out of the atmosphere and calling it. Okay.
Yes.
So yes. All right. Let's go ahead and clear initiative. At this time, you guys begin your ascension. The one assist that was on the clambering on the cockpit of the Delta shuttle is just clinging on for dear life as you begin to ascend upwards. You watch as its last desperate moments, its nails one by one beginning to lose grip, and it falls about 50, 60 feet down to the surface.
Not as bad as I thought it was going to be. I thought it was going to fall like hundreds of feet, and I was going to be kind of sad.
But as you guys begin to make your way up into the exterior atmosphere of the planet, you can't help still have this looming darkness over your shoulder as you finally make your way out into the vast expanse of space. There we go. As you make your way out into the vast expanse of space, the severity of the events that transpired on Korriban begin to take root. What did you guys potentially just let loose onto the galaxy? Was it your actions directly, or was it something beyond your guys' control? Forces at work before your arrival. You all meet up in the outer atmosphere of the planet and begin and fly in formation. Chav taking lead with the Delta shuttle.
Minor thing, using that stim pack to regain 4 wounds.
Is at this time everybody can go ahead and make a quick cool check as you guys have a moment to breathe to reduce the strain that you have suffered so far as much as you can.
I got 1 success and 1 advantage. How much do I reduce it by?
That is 1 point of strain.
Yay!
Sorry, buddy.
I literally have a little breathing room.
Yeah, it's gonna be 2 for Oho and Guy.
That's good. Rawl's going to do his own cool check to try and reduce his strain. I'll pass the dice over to you, Oho.
Sure. I mean, he's good, but I don't know. Yeah, I see. Cool.
His strain is almost capped.
Yeah, I see it. No, he gets
Oh
no.
God. Yeah, it makes sense. He's a little
Yeah,
frustrated
I mean,
right now.
he went through a lot.
Ego's pretty good. Yeah. The crew takes a moment to breathe amongst each other as they begin to traverse out into the expanse of the galaxy. Rawls piloting the VCX. Oho's piloting the Mandel Motors Starfighter. Jav piloting the Delta class Inquisitor ship, a very rare and hot commodity. You guys coming to a realization that maybe the gang's getting back together. Maybe things aren't as bad as they were seeming for some time. It's at this time who would get this call? Rawl. Rawl does. Rawl gets a hailing from the far side of the galaxy from an Imperial asset. She quickly comes to the realization that it's probably the group's benefact. So he opens up the channel to everybody at this time. As he opens up comms, the hollow projection of a familiar face encapsulated in a mask familiar to you all, Agent Killbolt. Agent Lanza, roll. Does anybody copy?
Go for Lancer.
Where have you been? You've been out of contact for some time.
Dying.
Don't die just yet, because I have just discovered an opportunity for us to deal with a certain app.
Gonna deal with a certain admiral, he said. Jav, bleeding profusely, exhausted, literally, as we kind of hit this space, did the thing where he just really pulled down off. It's just slumped in this chair, barely coasting this thing to stay in formation. And there's an opportunity with this admiral. What do you got?
We're gonna make rebels out of you.
I'm
My
listening.
coordinates. I am aboard the Nullifier. I'll brief you upon your arrival.
I think I need to brief you right now. If this is a secure line.
Save it for in person. Whatever it is, it can wait.
If you say so. And Chav is going to say, because of the nature of what he is flying, he is going to transmit the transponder code of the VCX and say that this ship will be arriving in a convoy of, let's see here, VCX, Fire Spray, YT, Jumpmaster, the shuttle, and
And
then
the Mandel Motors Starfighter.
then plus the Crypt Chasers, I believe, too.
Yeah, they're flying in a U-wing.
So
Are
They'll
we taking the Crypt Chasers with us to wherever we're meeting with Killbolt, or
Oh,
do
yes.
the Crypt Chasers get to?
The
That
Crypt
was our
Chasers
bounty.
probably the Crypt Chasers are probably planning on going back to Navarro.
Right.
So
gotta get ready.
Rawl would have the sense to not put the Crypt Chasers into the communication line.
Right.
We gotta get paid, and also, as far as Chev is concerned, they're Imperial spies.
Fair.
I'm working against the Empire. I'm going to show up to my first meeting as a rebel with a bunch of Imperial scholars and fucking like spies, basically, and an Imperial Sith Inquisitors fucking show.
Yeah, you're showing up with a fucking Trojan horse at your disposal. That's good.
It's gonna sound like that. You hear the music. It's beginning to look a lot like Christmas. While Chav's just like landing.
With a fucking Sith Inquisitor shuttle at his disposal. That's gnarly. Rawl would have the sense to not open up the communication line to the Crypt Chasers, as this is a very private matter.
Yeah.
But
And also,
yeah.
bare minimum, they still have to pay us. They're not going to Navarro while we go to somewhere else.
Yeah.
And I am not landing this thing on Navarro.
So you do fully intend on taking them to the nullifier?
Yes. They, at minimum, will be able to corroborate the stories that we're about to tell Killbolt and potentially have more information about exactly what may have happened.
Okay, I see where you're going with that. All right.
They are chips on the table.
That's
and
fair.
they also owe us many chips that in the form of credits. So they're not leaving Chev's site, and I believe that I have 100% Raw and Dove's approval on that.
That's fair. And they don't have the means of long-range communication, so they are at your guys' mercy for the time being. After telling you that whatever concerns you have, wait till you arrive at the nullifier for security. Killbolt does end communications, and shortly thereafter, you do receive a hailing with the coordinates of the current location of the nullifier. It does put it at the far end of the galaxy. You guys are looking at least a week's worth of travel. Well, you might need supplies before making the trip. Actually, Oho's Starfighter does need supplies. Coming from where he was. The fire spray should be good. The VCX should be good. The Echo Celine needs resupply and repair.
I will say that also, chances are the guy has, if they needed supplies to make sure that they don't have to stop for this trip, chances are the guy has enough supply on the YT to provide to them to get the trip. He would need to restock later, but he probably would.
Repairs also, though.
Yes, absolutely.
That's another question. Has Guy met the ISB yet?
Nope.
You guys intending on bringing Guy to the ISB?
I wouldn't
so.
mind, but I think that is a guy. Even if I was like, yeah, we're all going to meet the ISB, I think that guy would be like, that sounds like a you problem.
Yeah, I feel like actually one of the things that I'm thinking about right now, to be realistic, or not realistic, but like thinking about how everything has gone down. I think that the moment that, and we can role play this now, of basically Chav relaying the information of the next destination.
At the bare minimum, I think that when I send these
hyperlane coordinates,
to the Crypt Chasers, I'm going to get pushback because they're gonna be like, "Why aren't we going to Navarro?"
Yeah,
and I'm gonna have to talk out my ass.
You probably would get comes Chav, and this is just to you
Okay.
from Guy. Hey, Racer.
Sup, bus driver?
You dead yet?
Yeah, man.
All right. Well, you still sound horrible. Anyway, I saw the coordinates that you just input. That's going to take you probably a few weeks. If you need, I have enough supplies that I can lend to your group for you to make your way there. And you hear in the tone that he's saying it that it sounds like he's saying he's not coming.
Yeah. Which this trip had definitely bettered the relationship with Chev and Guy for sure. But flat out status quo, Guy is not part of whatever the group is that we remade on Navarro. He was very upfront about that, and Guy was like, yeah, that tracks. Traveled with us, helped us out, whole 9 yards. So if Guy wants to jump ship at any moment, theoretically he's allowed to. So Trav kind of hearing that just kind of goes, pauses for a moment, which ends up at least being the tell of anybody who would be listening to this conversation of he's having a moment where he kind of goes, oh fuck, before finally replying, all right, anywhere nearby that we can bare minimum land, exchange some supplies around between this low scale armada, as well as maybe get a few more patches done on whoever needs what done. I doubt we'd be able to find a place to dry dock our shit without raising too much suspicion.
I'm going to take the liberty for brevity to say that Guy does have an information about that.
Yes, that would be the nearby planet that you took Dr. Best to. You could locate it is a Imperial base controlled moon, but there is enough coverage that you could land several shuttles, make exchange of supplies, and get out of Dodge before the Empire comes sniffing around.
Yeah. I would say that Guy says, well, it is Imperial territory, the base on the planet that I left Bass, but it's a big enough, and I have enough coordinates to make sure that we can all dock and make the exchange necessary and take off without bringing any issues. It is not. You just have a moment where he just pauses. I just, unfortunately, I do not think that I can join you all the way to hyperspace with the current state of my ship. And I am someone that focuses on making sure that people make their destination, even if that means that I have to sit out because I would be the hindrance. I did what I had to do. I was able to make sure that all of you got out. You did. It makes no sense for me to delay that if I'm going to be the one holding you back. So whatever I can offer you for the rest of the road, you'll have it.
Jeff just kind of nods for a moment and then just kind of, yeah, all that tracks. By the way, what the fuck did you do to your fucking ship?
Oh, right. Light skipping.
What the fuck is that?
Light skipping. Jumping into hyperspace stopping the hyperspace before reaching the location, making the calculations enough to making sure that when you jump out of hyperspace, even though you are not jumping a specific coordinates, you can actually travel certain enough distance amounts of light and distance so you can cover enough distance so you can actually stop at a location that may not be directly at a fast track, but you can make it fast enough provided that your ship is able to hold it and you don't fly into a sun.
Sounds like a fairy tale to me.
Chev is just quiet because he's racking his brain
On how to do that, yeah.
considering this. And he's
Give
just
me
no. I know there's no roll. There's no roll. There's no roll. And this is gonna be perfect, and I'm pretty sure that Victor's going to pick up what I'm putting down. Because Chev just finally like as he's like running the numbers here, he like, clicks it back in and goes, jumping out of hyperspace, reassigned and going right back into hyperspace. Doing stuff like that too many times. Like, fuck it. If that's what you did, fuck it. Like that can't be what you did because your ship would be in pieces. Fucking guy, like, not. You can't do that. That's impossible. You can't do that.
Oh, I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't do it once. That's why I had to do it 3 times.
No, like really, like calculations, great. Times 3, or rather, to the 3rd power, and just follows up as you can't make that maneuver.
I did.
And all of a sudden, Chav and Guy are playing piloting chess.
Oh my
And Chav like puts it back together again, like looks like yes, there's like all that much window of opportunity as far as he's aware, and just kind of like,
That is impossible.
all right, bus driver, try to keep it under 3 next time.
I feel like when you're imagining it's almost as if the field of the chess, of the piloting chess, opens up again in like our vision board, and like there's that maneuver that Guy made when you guys were playing that he did. It's like, can you do that maneuver? And he was like, he didn't say anything, but you understood. It's like, okay, he's done that maneuver.
Mm-hmm.
And all of a sudden, it's like you're in like a new round where Guy's ship is in front of you. You've managed to get right behind him. You have him dead to rights. And all of a sudden, you just see his ship like blink, jump into hyperspace, just disappears. You see like a flash of light appearing for an instant, like a flash of a camera near you on the side of your ship. And by the time that you turn to see it, there's another flash on the other side. And that would be the moment when you basically like turn around and you just see Guy's ship aiming at you, like straight at your face, like smile for the camera style, even though it's just steaming. It's just like the messed up hole that
is
you've
glowing
seen now. Yeah, but it's just he's standing there.
The scenario plays out like this is the move that Guy says he does, and as Chav like runs through, it's just like fail, like runs it through so many times, and it ends in fucking Guy's YT exploding somewhere, and then after 15 seconds of silence, pops up like in this sort of piloting chess thing. Chav turns over, and you just hear over the comms, I guess that's checkmate, Hogbat.
I guess for now.
So at this point, that our crew reconvenes on the surface of the planet Elam, where Guy had handed over custody of the body of Dr. Besutam. Guy, you're reluctant to check in to see the final verdict of the survival of this individual. Almost certain you already know the outcome. The exchange takes place quickly and efficiently, knowing you don't have much time before the Empire does take notice. How was that? Before the Empire takes notice to unauthorized activity and starts to investigate, supplies are handed off. Guy remains behind with his ship, unable to make the journey due to its extensive damage that is sustained. He remains behind to utilize the assets he has at his disposal to repair his ship.
I think he will probably, as they're passing on the assets, he just goes, just to double check and make sure that nobody comes your way in case somebody actually detected entry points into the atmosphere. I will go check on the doctor. I don't have an issue getting to that location. They won't stop me. Private sector.
Whenever, no rush. Whenever you can send a comm.
Do you just see him approach you again, Chav? And he has that moment where he just like puts his hands on your shoulders. And then he brings you into a hug again like that last time. But this time after he hugs you for a while and comes back, his hand is holding the little tracker.
Chav just like checks behind his ear.
You know, you're welcome to keep it if you want. In case you decide to try to die stupid again.
Yeah, grabs it, takes a look at it. Well, it seems to be a recurring theme, so maybe we'll put that somewhere a little safer.
You still can't afford me.
I'll bill Killbolt.
I'll take the Empire's money any day.
I'll bill Killbolt twice.
Sounds like a plan.
Let's raid their coffers. They have plenty of money to spend.
Chav reaches his hand out to shake Guy's.
Guy grabs his arm, sort of looks at him with his deadpan face, looks at the group. Gal is next to him, beeping and everything, also bidding their farewell. And after that, he starts walking, starts getting on the ramp, pauses halfway up the ramp, turns around, ramp activates as he's starting to ascend, and it just like looks at you all like, don't die stupid. And then you see them take a piece of snack as they start eating once more.
As like that's kind of happening, Chav's probably like picking up like the last crate of whatever supply, and he starts whistling. And I'll give this to you because I've been plugging him every time because I just fucking love it, and I've made it canon that Chav sings this. It sings these star shanties, if you will. Star shanties on Spotify and stuff. The song in particular, knowing who Guy is and who he works for, is a shanty called Heidi and Way, which is about traveling the galaxy to get back home.
Like it.
Love it.
Love it. The crew begins to make their various departures in their respective directions. Crew of the Core Atlas ascending and departing the atmosphere of Ilum, while Guy makes his heading towards the coordinates of the Imperial base nearby to draw away suspicion. So at this time, our scene transitions over to the interior of what remains of the tomb of Ketvar blood. By this point in time, the stone foundation has finally settled. The statues that were once stood proud and is now in shambles, laying around the central chamber of Ketvar's tomb. Slabs of stone piled on one another. Our vision is brought to a singular slab where the lost brother, who's been carved in half by the brother Oho, who lies still on the brink of death, impaled by the blade that remains behind from Oho, the night brother. Go ahead.
I can summon that blade to my hand.
Oh yeah, you would have summoned that back. Once impaled by the blade of the night brother Oho, he now begins to claw his way weakly towards an elevated position. His breath exasperated, his helmet voice modulator crackling with each breath.
Moving. I need to keep moving. I need to prove I am worthy to Darthia.
As he climbs and ascends a slanted slab of stone to a destroyed wall with various pot marks that could facilitate his climb, he begins to reach up, and soon as he begins to try and pull himself up, he realizes he no longer has possession of his lower half. As he looks down and sees his entrails dangling below him, he cries out in pain, in agonizing pain. And as that pain starts to take hold, his strength wanes, and he falls back down onto the stone slab below him. Underneath the massive pile of rubble where the sarcophagus of Ketvar blood remains, we hear as stone begins to shift and quake. As three massive slabs rise above 15, 20 feet in the air, the stone slabs are then cast aside, impacting into the side walls with a thunderous roar. A withered, decayed hand reaches out onto the edge of the fractured sarcophagus, black claws digging into the stone as a desiccated body raises itself up from the tomb and begins to laboriously shuffle his way towards the lost brother. You desire this. You desire validation. You will no longer need that validation from Vader You will be my harbinger. You will be the will of the Force. And that's where we'll end tonight's session. Thank you all, you wonderful 2B Dicers, for tuning into tonight's session. Thank you for spending your Tuesday night with us. We'll see you next week. Same time, same place. And the rest of this journey is 2B Diced. Have a good night.